Hi there, I'm Chris Odie, co-creator and frequent game master for Zombie Orpheus Entertainment's interactive live stream RPG, Masters of the Metaverse. There are a lot of live-streamed RPGs out there these days, but Masters of the Metaverse is arguably the most Zoe of the bunch. It's a show where both the cast in the studio and the audience at home are empowered to create the story in real time, to the point where the lines between fan fiction and canon story arc are regularly blurred, if not cast aside completely. At this point, we're on Season 3 of Metaverse, and we know that can be a little bit intimidating to newcomers. That's why I'm here, to take a moment to give you some backstory so that you can jump in with both feet and catch the show as it's airing live. Warning, there'll be spoilers ahead. In Season 1, we were introduced to the basic concept of the show. A group of strangers are coerced by a secretive organization, the Program, into climbing into experimental metapods, advanced technology capable of hurtling their souls across dimensions and into unsuspecting avatars. These metapilots include Crash Jackson, an esports champion with social issues, Dr. Jenica Clarkson, a prison psychiatrist, Rosie Harvin, the Rootin' Tootin' rodeo star, and Aquamarine, cult leader, cat burglar, and breaker of the seduction skill check. The foursome, along with Jebediah Lexington, a tech expert for the program with more than his fair share of secrets, are launched into Sentinel City, a world where everybody has superpowers and wannabes are competing to become the next American Sentinel. Everything goes sideways when contestants start showing up dead. Our heroes become the prime suspects, and time is running out to solve the crime. Just when they think they know the truth and are prepared to battle the supposedly true murderer, the team is ripped from their avatars and returned to the program's facility, where Aquamarine is shocked to discover that she's brought back some of her avatar's powers with her. Next, they're sent after Nick Krieger, a missing metapilot who they eventually discover inhabiting the body of Theodore of Roosevelt, King of Yosemite. Yes, we dressed Matt Vancel in fur and made him rap on camera on command. You are welcome. Ninja Emily Dickinson, Druidic Johnny Appleseed, and a steampunk Professor Richard Gatling. This was not your typical Wild West story. The group herds zombies, defends the West from the villainous Thomas Edison, and strains to free Nick from his deep immersion into Teddy's personality. Once lucid, Nick reveals to them the program's true intention: harvest powers from across the metaverse to build the ultimate super soldiers. Upon returning to the reality of the metapods, Jenica, Rosie, and Aquamarine are sent out with a new teammate, Thomas, a program employee using the pod's time dilation for an extended holiday. They are unknowingly joined by Tessa, a mysterious agent of the Founders, rivals to the program, who is also Crash's long-lost sister. It's an adventure in music, mayhem, and magical space princesses, where the pilots take control of the members of Galaxy Force 5, their humongous mecha, and their magical space princess powers. In confrontation with Queen Loriana, a former magical space princess herself, the pilots are joined by Nick in the form of a giant robot Mount Rushmore and emerge victorious, at least until they arrive home again. It seems that Crash, having soured on the program and loosely aware of his sister's alternative allegiance, has decided to break the entire team out of the facility via his Sentinel City-acquired super strength and make a run for it. A chase ensues, and the pilots learn that they've been recruited by the Founders, like it or not. With the help of the Founders, the pilots return to Sentinel City and learn the shocking truth. Dr. Migraine, longtime friend and mentor to Crash's avatar Kid Titan, as well as Sentinel City's most powerful telepath, is behind the murderers and apparent suicides. He's been removing anyone who came close to discovering Sentinel City's biggest secret, the existence of a large, psychically powered dome trapping its inhabitants within. Doppelgangers of the team's avatars make one last attempt to pin the murders on our heroes, but they prove no match for the pilots and their assortment of avatar-enhanced abilities. Dr. Migraine schemes to co-opt the powers of his daughter, Molly Migraine, but the team manages to arrive in time, incapacitate the villain, and save the day. Thus ends Season 1. Season 2 brings new pilots, Scott and John, and a new world, just like this one, but in the midst of an alien invasion in the mid-1980s. Unlike every previous reality, the avatars in this one are normal, with no special powers or abilities, and the pilots find themselves randomly shunted from person to person. Scott attempts to parlay with the aliens to his own advantage. The slurping out of his avatar's brain and his own horrific death in the Metapod world are his rewards for the effort. The pilots are joined by Nathan, who seems oddly interested in the commercial potential of the Metapods, and soon learn that the program has been seeking out and murdering the real avatars of this world in an effort to locate and control an unknown artifact, which is eventually revealed to be Brad, the anthropomorphic turkey leg / Wanda friendship / Chad blaster, originally used by Thomas's avatar in the Magical Space Princess reality. They take Brad to the local Joe's Diner for safekeeping, Joe's being a reality-bridging restaurant chain found in every place they've thus far landed. A program-backed attack on their founders-provided mansion leads to the physical death of Thomas, but his soul, consciousness, something, becomes a ghost in the machine and is still able to interact with the pilots across realities. Thomas opens a hidden escape system from the mansion and sends the rest of them to a boat loaded with metapods and other supplies. The formerly locked world of Fartherall becomes their next destination. Side note, yes, there is a fully canonical Fartherall-based story arc in Metaverse. It took 6 episodes to cover 4 episodes worth of material, completely undid its own entire story arc with about 15 minutes left in episode 6, and then managed a resolution with no time to spare. In Fartherall, the resident avatars, a homicidal anthropomorphic rabbit, an octogenarian paladin with an open interpretation of her vow of celibacy, the Fifth Age's greatest bard and her biggest fan, who's also a struggling necromancer, and a wolf made of spirit jello who is trying to coax his reluctant chosen one into fulfilling her destiny, seek the missing Binky, Milk, and Blanky of the baby godling Amalia. Despite their collective best efforts, they manage to acquire all 3 items, and upon leaving Fartherall, the pilots find themselves adrift somewhere in the Adriatic Sea. Aided by a random megalodon, the pilots are shipwrecked on an ancient island with a mysterious temple guarded for 2,500 years by Xerates the Spartan. He reveals to them that the founders, the druids, shamans, and other mystical beings of old, were the first ones to gain the ability to traverse the Metaverse via powerful conduits tapping into ley lines across the planet. They used this ability to right wrongs, slay beastly threats, and protect reality from that which normal people couldn't handle. But eventually, rivals to the founders arose in the form of the Roman Empire, from which the program eventually descended. Xerates attempts to send them into the reality known as the Arena, a place of caged gods, where the pilots are needed to save the world. Stepping through ancient pillars of power, the pilots find themselves in 1990s Colby, Ohio, where movies have come to life and are attacking the town. But before they can fully resolve the threat, their old friend Jebediah returns, packing his own avatar-acquired powers and a squad of programmed soldiers. A brutal fight breaks out, only to be interrupted by an earthquake which rocks the island and pitches some of the pilots in and out of the arena. We end Season 2 with Jenica and Aquamarine, their actual selves, not in any avatar form, standing in an apocalyptic wasteland, staring at a large pink dome in the distance and a lone sign. Welcome to Sentinel City. That brings us to Season 3, which has only just begun. 9 months have passed since Jenica, Aquamarine, Crash, and Rosie went missing in the arena with no sign of their avatar powers, no way to contact their friends, and no apparent way home. Eking out survival to the best of their abilities, our heroes face the grim possibility that this is where their story ends. For their superpowered Sentinel City avatars, it's been a year since the defeat of Dr. Migraine and their discovery of the dome trapping them all inside the city. Bombshell 3.0 is doing children's television. Lady Vale has become a performance artist. Hex Destiny is working for a prominent military industrialist, and Kid Titan is married. Glitches in reality begin to occur. Fleeting visions, auditory hallucinations, recurring deja vu, and Kid Titan becomes increasingly convinced that something is wrong. When a magnetic burst temporarily resets Bombshell, the facade fades away and they all see the truth. Rather than defeating Dr. Migraine the year before, they were instead captured by him and imprisoned, physically as well as mentally. Meanwhile, the pilots have begun to regain some of their previously acquired avatar powers. They explore a mysterious vault and learn of a connection between the cyborg zombie apocalypse, Bombshell, and the previously unknown Cytron, an alien entity being worshipped by a local cult. Reunited with Thomas, they return to Sentinel City via airship, uncertain how to gain entry, but convinced that the local Joe's Diner is their best bet to get home. Within the dome, the superpowered avatars of Alpha Squad battle their former friend Riptide and Dr. Migraine. They defeat him, for real this time, and learn that the entire city has been trapped within the hidden dome for nearly 400 years. Whenever someone begins to learn the truth, migraine has been resetting the minds of the entire populace. Seeing a small window to bring an end to their imprisonment, they travel to the secret power chamber for the dome and power it down, just in time for the Metapilots to enter the city and head to Joe's Diner and away back home. And that's where we are today, 4 episodes into Season 3, and you're all caught up. The show's going to start in just a few minutes, so stick around for the next exciting episode of Masters of the Metaverse. Hey everybody, it is Monday evening. Welcome to Masters of the Metaverse here on Zombie Orpheus Entertainment's live stream channel. We are so happy and thankful to be here with you, y'all.
Thoughts and prayers, y'all.
Yeah. Hi everyone. It's good to see you. It's good to kind of not really see you because we don't see you.
Because we can't see you.
We can't see you. We can see chat over there. I was loud. Oh, that makes me so happy. I'm always being told I'm the one that's too quiet. So, hi everybody. We are very thankful and excited for tonight's show. We have some great things that we're going to be doing, and before we get into that, we're going to explain a few things to you.
Uh-oh.
Yes, we have that ability. We have that power. I don't know who's on the screen right now. I don't have it up. Just me? Well then, hi. Let's tell you the stuff. Let's go through all of the housekeeping items so we can start the show. For starters, we are a fan-funded company, which I think many of you already know. If you are a Patreon backer, let me just say thank you already for your support. Specifically, we want to send out a thank you to Justin Palermo, Kyle Kilgore, and Leslie Sedlick as three folk who have been supporting Zoe and supporting this creative venture for quite some time. So thank you for that.
3 times.
Yeah,
all
exactly.
The thank yous.
Our Patreon backers, as I think many of you already know, are able to vote every month in various polls to provide certain buffs and abilities to the cast for this show that we do. And so I thought we would hand those out right now to everybody. That sound good, folks?
Yes.
Yeah,
Perfect.
love that.
Okay, so Crash Jackson.
Yes, sir.
You tonight have yourself a +10 that you can use on a single roll.
Yeah.
And you have 30 points of overshielding.
Overshield.
That'll save me from an ass kicking or two.
There you go. Nick Krieger, played by Matt Vancel. Welcome back.
Thank you.
We haven't had you around for a while.
That's by design, yes.
It was on purpose.
Yeah. So glad to be here tonight instead of watching the Seahawks play Monday Night Football.
We love you, Matt Vancel.
Oh, are they playing?
Yeah.
They are. I think they're playing right now. So we probably have 5 people in chat.
No, the chat's all over.
Oh, that's true. They can do all those things at once. No, Matt, you have tonight a +8 that you can use on a roll. And you have 40 points of overshielding.
40, you say?
Ooh.
Jenica.
Yes.
It's like your armor before you get hit.
You have tonight a +10 that you can use on a roll.
Thank you, Patreon.
And a +1.
I got it.
And then you have 10 points of overshielding to use.
Thank you, chat.
There you go.
Patreon.
And our very own Aquamarine.
Bing,
There you
bing.
go. You have a +9
Sweet.
and 20 points of overshielding tonight.
Sweet. Thank you.
Yeah, so thank you to everyone in Patreon who's been voting for that, and you can look forward to the poll kicking out again next week with more
Once
information.
again, you've proven that I am clearly your favorite in all things.
So if you are just coming on and just learning about this, Masters of the Metaverse is this fun, interactive live stream RPG that we do here. And it is a science fiction show in which pilots travel through various techno-babble into avatars elsewhere, picking up abilities and solving mysteries and battling crazy things and having adventures, and all this stuff happens.
Yes.
That sound about right?
Yes, thanks.
Yeah.
Stuff does indeed happen.
If I want to give an 80s, 90s mashup, I would say it's Quantum Leap meets Sliders. But by doing that, you know, I pretty much cut anyone who was born after
us.
Yeah, like I'm realizing that when I set that up. So it's its own thing. It's a lot of fun. If you didn't know, Zoe has its own Discord, and someone will drop that in chat. You can stay on top of everything that's going on via that Discord. You can also check us out on our YouTube channel, as well as the Zoe Live YouTube channel, which has all of our streaming content. We have this great thing called the Fantasy Network, which all of our Patreon backers get access to for free. And
That's a good deal.
Yes.
Amazing.
And the Fantasy Network not only gives you access to everything that we've done, but also several of our friends in the independent film business. So please check
Plus,
that
all the
out.
gamers' lives are on there.
Yes, it's true.
That's like the only place you can find us.
Yeah, it's by far the easiest way to get in touch with staying in touch with all of the gamers live. What else to let you guys know about? The game uses Tri-Stat. The basic concept is roll low. Rolling low is better. The degree by which you are successful is important. Target numbers are generated by abilities, all of that stuff. There is the Masters of the Metaverse podcast on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, and more.
Stitcher?
Stitcher.
Is this a newfangled thing?
I've accepted the fact that I will never know what is new
Okay.
until it's almost old.
Is there an E in Stitcher?
No, yes, there
Oh.
Or
is.
is it a 3?
Unless it's a typo.
Stitcher. Yeah.
I remember very
yeah.
distinctly in junior high
Like
discovering
Tumblr.
New Kids on the Block. I'd never heard of them until we were at some dance and they played some of their music, and all the cool kids announced that they were no longer a cool band.
And you were like,
And I was like, I've never heard of these guys before.
And he was a fan from that day forward.
I was.
The inadvertent hipster.
Listen up, everybody, if you want to take a chance. Just get on the floor and do the New Kids dance.
Is that one of their songs?
Yes, it is.
Byron?
I grew up with sisters.
I legitimately don't know. The only one I know is the Weird Al Oreo song.
Oh, is that the...
Yeah, what's in the middle?
You know, I think that's actually,
Oh.
I think that song is a
That's
parody of the
Oreo.
song I was just quoting, maybe.
Maybe.
I did
It's the
choreo
only
with
one I
my
know.
neighborhood friends in the garage to some songs by New Kids on the Block, for sure.
You did some choreo to Oreo?
Yeah, they like got mad if it wasn't like...
perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had a lunchbox the season after they were cool, and then I had to cover up the picture with a bunch of stickers.
Because they weren't cool anymore?
They were not cool.
Donnie.
I'm sorry.
I didn't need any more help in the nerd department.
Right? Feel you. I feel
Apparently, they've always been after you.
That's fair. That's fair. She knows how to attract them.
I just got freakishly tall at 13 and nobody messed with me.
lucky you.
I'm still waiting for
I
that.
recommend that,
13.
actually.
It doesn't help girls.
No.
No, the
with
opposite.
Let's see. Some
Anyway.
other things to
dear.
let you all know about as I try not to be obvious that I'm trying to open screens on the computer.
Now everybody knows.
I know, everyone knows what I'm trying to do. There we go. Finally got Twitch going. There's a Kickstarter going on very soon. We just completed, or Matt just completed a Kickstarter.
Yes, we did.
Yay.
For the
Thank you
Fatal
so much,
Frontier.
everyone. Thank you for everyone who pledged.
You're welcome.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you, everyone who pledged. Sarah did pledge, so thank you specifically.
That's why I was saying you're welcome.
We funded
Those
it on our
anagrams.
own. We were the only backer. You didn't know, man.
I was quite surprised to see what your email address actually is.
It's really old.
I had to double check because that didn't seem in character for you.
No.
Seemed
It was the spam. one?
uncharacteristically confontational.
Oh, was that one?
Oh, was it?
It was.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm not going
no.
to give it out, but it.
I can't believe it's under that one. I'm sorry.
It's her spam. I had a spam sync account for a while too. I used
Yeah,
to
it was
use for
pretty-
things. So it was, yeah.
I'm gonna ask what it is later.
It is.
Pretty, yeah.
It's deliberate. But this Friday, Journey Quest 3.5. Which is,
And we're doing a thing for that.
there is. Well, you guys are.
Yeah.
I have no aspirations, but yes, that is starting up on Friday. If you want to talk about it at all, anything to say? Is it
I
just?
thought that's starting up on Saturday, but Friday sounds good.
I'm told Friday,
Friday it is.
and Ben
I
told
think
me
we're doing
Friday
Friday and
earlier
then
on the
we're doing a
ride.
Saturday thing.
So
Right, we're doing the stream on Saturday, right? It's,
Yes.
We're doing some sort of game thing at the studio for the Kickstarter.
yes, I don't know the details.
Neither do I.
We are, the details are in a quantum state. However, it will be streaming. Christian will be playing a certain lactomancer.
Cool.
And it will be canon.
Nice.
No kidding.
No kidding.
I did not know that. I'm
No
excited
kidding.
now.
And we know that every time you try to stream Fartherall, everything goes well.
It goes
Yes,
really
well, I
well.
learned with with such a good experience last time, I figured why not bring it into range of the characters who actually fund the films, and they couldn't possibly do any damage.
So Perf is
There.
going to be in an adventure.
Yes,
That's his favorite place to be.
absolutely.
All right. Shit.
When's
It's Friday or Saturday.
Let's see. Yeah, it should be good. I know Ben is coming down this week to help with stuff.
We've heard about that too. Yeah.
Let's see. GameWorks, the store.
usually
Oh,
come
the store tonight. So to let folks know how that is going to be happening, I'm excited that we are going back to regular meta points and the slider and all that stuff is happening
Yes.
tonight. We are going to be hopping back and forth between pilots and avatars tonight for the first time since
Forever.
February.
Do you want a slider breakdown?
awesome?
Time in.
Yeah. So the basic
forever.
concept of the slider. Do you want to explain that, Mr. Christian Doyle?
The slider breakdown works as thus. Each player has 2 character sheets in front of them. On one side is their pilot. On the other side is their avatar.
Oh wait, pilot avatar.
At any time, they can spend meta points to get closer to either their pilot or their avatar on this 5-point scale. The closer they are to their avatar, the more avatar abilities they can access, but the fewer pilot abilities they can access. And vice versa.
Just like that.
Exactly like that. On a related note, when you're doing the poll tonight, Alien Knitter, I think in addition to how many times I break, you should also have a poll for how many times the sliders get knocked off the tables.
That is the Metaverse drinking game.
There you go.
None.
My bet is 2. Both Christian.
I knew it too.
That's true, you do. So I know we have a.
I'm not helping you anymore.
Tip. Oh. I know we had a tip before the show, an Aqua Buff. I actually don't know who gave it, so if I could be told in chat or via a direct message, that would be awesome. I do have
no way
chat
Aqua Buff
up
isn't a
just so
bodyguard.
Right.
Alien Knitter and Paxmo and whatnot know that. The store, a couple other little changes tonight. So meta points can be used both as the slider, but also to power some of your prior avatar abilities. Cheat codes are giving you that +1 or more to a roll. Any of your individual buffs can be used to power one of your special abilities that is on your player sheet, your pilot sheet. They can also be used to give everyone else in the party a +3 to a roll. And they have an additional ability. Aqua Buff, you have, Seduction is overpowered, that's right.
What?
Yours tonight, Seduction is OP. You can force a target to re-roll.
Seduction is OP.
Okay.
That is what your thing can do.
Cool.
Crash, you've got your
That's
tried
awesome.
and true Haxor going on, so you know how that works.
That's where I kick everybody in the face.
Correct. Jenica, you have using her assets. That's where you gain an action this round that is not to be used for direct combat, but can be used indirectly for someone. Innuendo.
It ceases to be innuendo if you're explicit.
There you go. And Matt, you have Tedley Bear.
Tedley Bear.
Foolish bravado comes naturally to Nick. If he fails at something stupidly dangerous, he can re-roll the check with a 2-point bonus.
Who defines stupidly dangerous?
I'm pretty sure that you'll know it when you see it. And I'm pretty sure chat will let us know. Meta meltdowns, of course, swap avatars all over the place. System shocks mess you up on the sliders. The rule of cool is around where one of you gets to do something awesome and the others don't. And hack attack, of course, where chat takes over and makes all of our respective lives more difficult.
No, just
Or
yours.
more fun.
Just yours. Ours get
More fun.
Usually.
We make them more fun.
Super
more
fun
difficult.
for us.
That's fair.
The rest of us love you, Chad. Buy them
Improvisers.
anyway.
So I think that's all of the stuff I needed to say. Check out the Zombie Orpheus wiki. There's a Masters of the Metaverse crash course there. No pun intended. And if you want more detail, you can catch up on the history of the show so far. We're also working on a little video that gives you the first 2 and a bit of seasons worth of basic storyline, but in a very compressed form.
Oh, cool.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, and instead of 120
An episode.
hours, it's like 10 minutes. So,
All right.
Not bad.
and that's where we got. So let's roll the credits and then let's kick back into this show.
Let's kick.
Conscripted by a secret organization, a group of strangers is loaded into experimental metapods, hurtling their souls across dimensions and into unsuspecting avatars. With each trip across reality, these newly minted metapilots gain access to unique powers and abilities, slowly transforming them into true masters of the metaverse.
Masters of the metaverse, masters of the metaverse. They travel through time and space and stuff. Control them, re-roll them, throw them above. They fly through dimensions, this isn't a bluff. Heroes compelled, they have no choice. Bound by the winds of a secret voice. Masters of the metaverse. Masters of the metaverse. Masters of the metaverse. Masters of the metaverse.
And we are back. So when we left off last week, our pilots, having earlier found themselves stuck in the world of Arena, that is to say the world outside of Sentinel City, a post-apocalyptic nightmare world with man-bats and cyborg zombies and a city on stilts and all of this fun stuff.
Nevada.
Basically.
Nevada, yeah. So they had finally found
They say
a
Nevada.
way out of this metaverse, which you'd been stuck in because you hadn't entered it through a standard metapilot means.
Right, we're in here with our whole selves.
Exactly, instead of just your
And now
your
we're
soul
safely
or
inside a diner.
essence or thing. If for those of you who do recall or don't recall, at the end of the episode, the heroes inside Sentinel City had finally managed to bring down the dome, opening up Sentinel City to the outside for the first time in hundreds of years. We did discover that the residents inside had been in some sort of, not really a time loop, but had been stuck inside for about 400 years or so, with their memories being reset by Dr. Migraine as he continued his plot to keep them stuck in containment. Side note, when doing that 10-minute video recap for the show, I felt like I was describing a soap opera as I was going through all of the plot twists that have happened over the last 2 and a bit of seasons.
Yeah, there's been a lot of stuff that's happened.
Holy crap, this is so cool.
This show has got there is some depth here.
It was awesome. It was actually really neat to realize just how much had happened.
We forget with all of the flooding and talking machines and
Exactly. So the pilots, though, had found themselves with the ability to get back into Sentinel City because the dome was down, and having repelled from the airship that brought them there, they went inside Joe's Diner, and that is where we left off. They've just entered inside, and Hollywood is standing near the front and has expressed a little confusion at seeing them all enter in. Cook is working behind the counter, and so right now it would be Crash and Jenica and Aquamarine and Rosie, who is going to be fairly silent for the rest of this episode. She's a little shell-shocked. It's been a very hard last couple days for her.
oh,
So
you'd think she would at least find the ability to complain incessantly.
well, she's hungry. So now that you're inside Joe's Diner, she pretty much just
All she wants
sits
is a
down.
milkshake.
All she wants is a milkshake. She's gonna sit down and get herself some milkshake and some grits. That's really all she wants right now.
I might have a bite.
I need a hamburger. I've been in the
Cook
freaking
calls out
wilderness.
from the back, "Hey, haven't seen you all for a while. Welcome back."
I've never seen you.
Hey, that's true. You're new. Or you're probably not new. You must be Crash.
Yeah,
How's it going?
good.
Yeah,
How's
great.
it going with you?
Doing well. You know how it is. Just cooking.
Yep. I don't know how to cook.
You could learn.
I don't think I've met you either.
I'd have to go back and consult, my records that I
Well,
can
hello.
keep digitally.
Because you're Ricci, so you've met him.
Yeah, I think I did. I think we did once. But either way, it's good to see you back.
Aquamarine, yeah.
Yeah, you're Aquamarine.
No,
Yeah.
but you were.
I was.
So I can get you all some food?
No, hamburger. We've been in the wilderness for like
Yeah, no
a
problem.
million years.
Wilderness burger, please.
Wilderness burger?
Is that a thing?
Can be.
Okay, I want one.
Yep, got it. No problem.
What is it?
I bet. It's
Using some yum yum leaves.
it's man
Can I
rat.
have one too, please?
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, great.
I'm gonna miss those.
I could get a bunch for you before we go.
That's okay. I feel like addiction would be a bad way for me to go.
That's fair.
I think we should take a lot.
So the group of you, having not seen anything resembling civilization or been inside of anything resembling civilization for a while, you take a moment now to kind of collect yourselves and enjoy some actual food. Hollywood banters with you a little bit, but then he's got some stuff he wants to go take care of. So he kind of exits stage left. And as you're sitting at the booth, kind of trying to think about what you're going to do next, I'm guessing what you're going to do is leave and see where you wind up. Is that fair to say?
Fairly fair to say. I would like to find Butch.
You want to go back into Sentinel City and find the people we've been inhabiting?
Well, I mean, I've seen him in a mirror, but I never looked at him from far away, and I think it would be cool.
How do you think he would feel about that?
He doesn't know me.
Does he?
I don't know.
Well, I don't know. Personally, if somebody had taken over my body and then wanted to come say hi, I'd be kind of annoyed about it.
I never take all the way over.
What would be the benefit? Just because you're interested, or do you think that somehow could help?
He's just. I know he doesn't know me, but I mean, we're friends. I think he would want to. Right?
I feel like he'd know.
That's great, Crash, but I just want to get back home.
Okay. Yeah, me too.
We will. This is kind of like our home, right? With
No.
each other.
This is not like home. This is like Joe's Diner. Very
Yeah.
fast.
She did such a good job. I'm just distracted by that.
Has everyone else's food arrived, or just Rosie?
Rosie opened the door. She's like, "Food!"
Yeah,
Grab somebody's on the way by.
they anticipated her order, so it was ready first. She always gets the same thing every time she comes in, a burger and a milkshake. So,
Grits.
and grits, apparently.
Which you said she wanted. You said that.
I'm still spinning over the fact that you just mentioned going back to Sentinel City, you son of a pork.
I just wouldn't you want?
What is it?
I mean, don't you want to see them?
I'm worried. Like, I've watched movies and the whole like time space continuum.
I was thinking that, but then I thought
But
it
we're
wouldn't
not the
apply
same
here.
people here, and they're gonna be so scared.
Because we just left them?
No, because we just broke their whole world.
We didn't break anything.
That's what worries me about going back, is that they might be upset with us.
Yeah.
Is that a new burger? Because you've clearly eaten at least half of that. so you're
You can
using
have
both
mine,
hands.
girl.
I can only pantomime so much while GMing.
I'm not hungry. Rosie often finishes my
It's true.
eat it.
Thank you.
She will gladly pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today.
And some grits.
You were worried
'cause
about
said
not
she wanted
connecting
that.
to the younger viewers, and you quote Popeye.
I am what I am.
Oh my god, your shirt.
Captain Hip Dad.
Hi, hungry. I'm Dad.
Hey, son, watch me dab.
Anywho.
Sorry, sons.
Yeah, yes. So you can continue your eating.
Hashtag Aqua Buff, let the power of the veil give you the strength.
Thank you,
Thank
Chad.
you.
I always seem to miss my chance to provide Patreon buffs.
Well,
I hope that this one will help. Missed you all last week.
We
Thank
missed
you,
you guys
Chad.
too.
We
The
missed.
show wasn't the same. Besides, I think he lied.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Like seriously, it does. It does make us.
What'd
so
you lie
happy.
about?
I didn't lie about anything during that.
I didn't either.
No, it was all very honest.
Oh, we love honesty.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it doesn't.
What?
It doesn't matter if we go, like, if we want to go back out there anyway, because the door only takes us where we belong.
Oh, so even if we tried, it wouldn't.
It does.
So we couldn't go back to Sentinel City unless it was like where we're supposed to be?
Given how how Joe's always seems to work to further the narrative, yeah.
Joe's door is heavily layered in plot armor. It's,
It's shatterproof,
Okay.
mostly.
All right. Well, then we should probably see what lies beyond the door.
First, hashtag metapoint of the night.
Ooh, thanks, Chet.
Uh-huh.
Thank you,
Thank
Chad.
you.
I should use it immediately.
I should use it immediately.
Well, right now we're all.
Yeah, let's go after we pay. I don't have any money. I've been in the future.
In the wilderness for a really long time.
It's okay, you can leave Rosie here to pay off, work off the burgers she ate in the kitchen.
And
I have
actually, the
cash.
more that Rosie thinks about it, she says, you know what? The more I think she's been eating and kind of processing, really quiet, like she's kind of thinking to herself. And she says, you know what? The more I think about it, I think I want to stay here for a little bit.
You that hungry?
No, I think I don't want to leave this diner.
Okay.
I'm gonna sit here. You know what? Cook, you need anyone on staff?
Oh wow.
And Cook looks a little bit confused and
She'd
says,
be good anywhere there's not customers.
Yeah, Cook says, I mean,
She's super competent.
okay, if you looking to wait tables or something?
Yeah, no,
and,
don't let her do that.
And
It's a really
She
bad
could like
idea.
run the kitchen.
and,
Wash dishes.
and Rosie, they go back and forth for a bit, and Cook says, yeah, there's sure, I can justify keeping you on for about 2 weeks,
Maybe 3.
maybe 3
Whoa.
or so.
That's a lot.
Are you okay, Rosie? Why do you want to stay?
I just don't feel like myself. It's just been.
Did the
just need to
wilderness
process?
do that to you?
Yes.
Okay.
Arena made you much beardier.
She needs to work on some
needs to
hygiene
shave.
issues that have been going on.
We all do.
Touch your shoulder.
Well, I don't want to lose you.
Before we leave, I'm going to
needs
go
to
to the
process.
bathroom, though, and steal all of the toilet paper.
Any particular reason? Oh, just as she feels like she's at home?
No, because we haven't had any toilet paper for 9 months.
That's true.
And I don't know where we're going once we leave this door.
This is true.
And I'm not going anywhere unprepared like that again, ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
You could like,
From now on, I
Just
carry
wrap-
a roll of toilet paper with me at all times. Do you
Thank
understand?
goodness.
I like
Thank
that.
Okay.
You can add that to your character sheet if you
Done.
that you've always got a
How
roll
are you
toilet
sure?
paper.
So you're wrapping all the toilet paper around
I'm sorry.
yourself?
I'm sorry.
no, he just has a roll.
I feel super secure about that.
Nothing.
Nothing just happened. Nothing was glorious.
Great. I think that Rosie should process and do her thing, and this is what she's rolling with now.
Definitely self-reflection is important. So
And
miss
actually,
you
when she said that, it made she make her comment about wanting to stay there for a little bit. A little voice yells out from over in one of the corners. I can't do the Brad voice. Can you do the Brad voice?
Yeah. What does he say?
He says that'd be great. We could catch up.
He says that in the Brad voice.
Yeah.
That'd be great. We can catch up, bro. We look over there and there's a chicken leg in the corner.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the last time we were
setting up a microphone.
Yeah, the last time we were in Joe's Diner, we established that Brad was left behind in Joe's Diner, right?
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Brad's the
Yeah, I remember who Brad was.
So
Oh, yeah.
chicken leg. I'm letting Chad
Rosie
know.
is the new
Turkey
Brad.
leg.
Does that mean we get to take Brad with us on our adventures?
Only if you want to voice him the whole time.
No.
Okay.
Well, then he's going to catch up with Rosie.
Yes.
Yeah, he and Rosie will hang out. We'll have all the
I think
answers for
I
what
love
they
how
discussed
Rosie's
later on.
pretending like she just wants to decompress and get this whole bad experience, but really she's probably just here to snoop around and blame Joe's Diner for everything.
Yeah.
And eat.
I'm pretty sure that we can set it up so
And
that when
chill.
when she decides to leave the diner, she comes back to the show with some plot points.
She often does her best processing alone.
It's true.
And with food.
It's true. So she'll be well
Her
protein.
900-pound bunny can eat, too.
Yum leaves in her shoulder with my skills.
So after talking about it for a
She'll be
while, Rosie is going to hang out in the diner for a little bit.
Great. Will you pick up the check?
It's Joe. Cook says it's covered,
Thank you.
so it'll be good. And when you're ready, you all are free to.
I go out the door.
No, could we at least look out the door?
It's never always worked for you. Like
Fine.
you have to go through that doorway into the great unknown.
Motion of your arm.
Bless you.
I know. The problem is if I move too much this way, I get in front of the camera.
Yeah.
So I have to think about that. Hopefully that was not too high up. I don't know. Anyway.
I like
All right.
Good.
So the three of you step outside, and as you do,
Bye, Rosie.
and Rosie waves. You step outside onto a bustling urban street setting. You see there are taxis honking. There are people going up and down.
Are we on the sidewalk?
sidewalks. You're on the sidewalk. You just walked out of a diner.
Oh, good.
Onto a city street.
Are we in
Or onto the
Ghostbusters?
onto the sidewalk. I'm sorry.
I don't
Or
know.
the Crow? No, it's daytime.
But yeah, so there's some traffic. There's a lot of honking. People, shaking their fists, that sort of thing. Folks dressed business suits going back and forth. All that's happening. Just your standard kind of hustle and bustle of a large urban environment.
Which one?
Well, as you look at what do you do?
I turn on my phone for the first time in a year.
I have
That would work.
And I see where the GPS says we are.
The GPS says that you are in New York City.
Oh! I've been here.
And the license plates also tell you that you're in New York.
I have city knowledge and street sense and urban tracking. Is New York isn't specified here, but
You would have a bonus elsewhere, but you could do it there, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
So all of those abilities are there. But yeah, so you were standing on a sidewalk somewhere in New York City.
Okay.
What are the street signs? Okay.
The street signs say large intersection and that other one.
The famed intersection of that large one and some other
And that
thing.
other
Cut him a
one.
little slack. It's hard to find information about New York.
Is there a news
So
stand?
here's the thing. If I say any intersection right
So
now,
smart.
someone in chat is going to immediately say,
But I live at that intersection.
those streets don't actually connect.
Because you're that guy who says that whenever Seattle gets played and there's something about this street and this street, and you're like, those streets don't actually
That's
connect.
true, actually.
'Cause
That's
you're
why I
that
know
guy.
someone will do that.
Because you're the person who does that.
That's what I said.
This says a lot to me about how
Is
I
there a
am
news
now.
stand?
A what?
A news stand so I can see what the date is?
Yes, there's one slightly up the street.
And what is the date?
Go there.
Today.
Okay. So we're not 400 years in the future.
Nope.
That's a plus.
It is a plus.
2018, September 15.
Does the
Sure.
news look
Or
normal
September
to everyone?
17, I think. Yeah.
Does the news look
Nine.
normal or does it look alternate university?
Yeah, I don't know. That president's still the same.
Yeah, to be fair, our news is pretty alternate university.
That's fair.
That's a that's a good point. Let's all take a moment.
We should be checking for goatees.
But no, it looks like pretty much your standard issue New York City news.
We could be home.
We totally could.
We
be.
probably are home. This is where we're supposed to be. That's where the diner takes you.
As you're standing around
Rosie.
outside the newsstand, the familiar form of Thomas materializes and gestures at you all and says, "Greetings, welcome home."
Thank you, Thomas.
Thank you. Thank you for getting us here.
Oh, it wasn't me, it was Joe's.
We have to somehow communicate to Rosie that we're home. Is that possible? She would be so upset.
She's aware.
Sorry.
Cool. What do we do now?
Oh, well, now that you're back on the correct side of the metaverse, you have several options. I think your soundest one would be to go to the nearest founder's safe house.
Where is it?
Well, I can direct you there if you would like.
We would like.
One moment.
Doesn't answer my question, though.
What?
Where is it?
Oh, that's true.
In front of you, you see a glowing set of arrows appear.
Like on a video game.
Yeah, and pointing down towards a subway. One of the staircases down into a subway
I think it's
station.
that way.
Avoid side quests.
Good advice.
And then he says, "Don't worry, only you can see the arrows indicating your next destination."
You and
All right.
extremely high.
Well,
Actually, for that matter, currently, only the three of you can see me. Observe. And he stands over in front of some people who are just walking up and down the street, and they walk straight through him without flinching.
Oh, good.
course.
So we look like crazy people
so
talking to you.
we have an
Excellent.
objective and markers, and everybody can see them, correct?
Yes.
I see those
Cool.
big
Last
arrows.
one there is a rotten egg.
Let's go.
Okay.
So you hustle down the stairway into the subway, and the arrows don't take you to the main subway stop. You know, I can't think of the words right
Terminal?
now.
Platform?
Subway.
Platform, that's the word, thank you.
Station.
The platform, instead of taking
Stop.
you there, it takes you off to around the side into a corner area where you see a door that looks very well secured, but there's no distinguishing,
Doesn't say what it is.
no signage on it. It's just a very well secured door. Just enough out of the sideway that if you weren't looking for it, you wouldn't necessarily think to go over there or care much about it.
But we're not looking for it.
Well, you're following the arrows and they lead you straight to it.
Ah. Crafty arrows.
Yes.
To the door.
So you head to the door, and Thomas reappears near you. Excellent. One moment, please. And the door starts, you hear the sound of little latches and things popping, and the door, and you can just push it open if you'd like.
Oh, see, I was going to try the shave and a haircut knock.
Oh.
If you would prefer that, Crash,
Nope.
we can do that.
The door opens.
The door started to shut when you said that. Oh, I'm sorry. It opens back up.
No, it's okay.
So the three of you step inside and shut the door behind you, and you hear it latch and lock and everything behind you. And as you step in, the lights kick on, and you see yourself inside a second, what do I want to say? There is a stairway going down that leads to another platform. And from there is a very small subway-style car waiting for you.
Ah.
The arrows go there, I'm assuming.
Oh, yes.
All right.
Quaint.
I think I played this level in Final Fantasy III. Does the car go to hell or the land of the dead?
If you go the wrong direction.
Can you body slam
Are
the
you
car
sure
if
you're
you
not
have
thinking
to
of
in the boss battle?
Neverwhere?
Let's get in the car.
You could suplex the train. It's pretty awesome.
I don't know what that means.
What?
I don't know what suplex means.
It's true.
I had to Google burpees when I taught PE. I don't know what these things are. Is it a physical action?
It's a wrestling.
Suplex
It's a
and
wrestling
burpees.
move.
It's
Oh,
like
it's
an
not like a type
exercise
of
progression.
herpes?
It's like you jump and you. Anyway.
Oh, I know what they are now because I had to Google them.
No, it's suplex though.
It's
You don't
a
know
wrestling move.
You don't know what a suplex is?
Yeah.
No.
There's not really room here
Is
to
it like
demonstrate.
pushing something?
In a manner,
something.
directly
like-
through the floor.
Yeah, the idea is you hug somebody and then you lie them down.
But you,
Backwards. You pick them up, lift up, and then slam the top of their shoulders and the back of their head into the floor.
I could see that.
I can't do that.
Yes, you can.
No, I really couldn't do that.
If you believe it in your heart.
I think you could have
I believe in my heart that I could not do that.
And if you work on your core.
Yeah, no.
There's a lot of core strength is necessary
I
for
don't.
the
I have
suplex.
zero core strength.
What's really cool is if you hold them up for a couple of seconds so the crowd really gets into it.
and they
then
get scared
suplex them.
and then do that.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
stalling suplex.
Good finish.
I love all the things that people learn watching our show. You know?
The stalling suplex.
I mean, they come for the sci-fi and the witty banter, and
But really, they stay for the education. The more you know.
I was late to the stream and made KK worry. So to make up for it, have the hashtag cool.
Ooh, thanks, Max.
That is here, and we all know it has to happen.
Thank you, Chad.
You're never late. You're always on time.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
so
Thank you.
Thank you.
yeah. So you head down to the single car and hop in, and as soon as you do, it fires up and starts going down its route.
We have no earthly way of knowing
That's exactly
You're going to have to
what I was thinking.
suplex the train.
which
is what I'm saying.
direction we are going.
Are there projections?
My apologies. Did not mean to play that right then. Music kicks off for a moment. Thomas reappears.
Crash is still singing.
As you may be aware, there are several abandoned or alternate or false start lines of subway underneath New York City. Some of those have been borrowed by the founders over the years, and some of them have been added to as
Thomas,
well.
you only know that because you're Google.
Technically, this is partially true.
So when you're saying something like, as you know, you have to keep in mind that we're just people and we don't have Google.
But we could access it
Right.
if we wanted to.
But he is Google.
So we could access him.
Regardless, your destination currently is to the underside of one of the. Sorry, I glitched for a moment, both in and out of character. Your destination is beneath one of the New York Public Libraries.
The main one?
No,
Is it the one the Ghostbusters were at?
No, this is a side branch, more in the Brooklyn area.
Which suggests that the library the Ghostbusters were at is part of this universe.
Actually, my apologies, not Brooklyn. This one is more towards Harlem.
Oh.
Ah, the Harlem Public Library.
North.
And then he explains to you that there are several of the older libraries in town had apartment complexes that were inside of them for caretakers to keep the coal-fired furnaces stoked 24/7 because that was necessary. And it was easier and more practical to have someone live on site than it was to bring someone in or do shifts or things like that. Over the years, as the caretakers retired, those areas started being less used. They were kind of closed off. Nowadays, many of them are being remodeled and turned into other features, but there are a few that have been basically forgotten about, or that before they were rediscovered, the founders found that they made a very nice safe house that no one was aware of.
Ah.
Those are all Airbnbs.
All the rest have been turned into Airbnb.
Totally.
It's Brooklyn. They're going for a premium.
As you may recall, the last attempt at hiding our group ended poorly and with my death.
Yeah, machine guns.
Exactly.
It's a bad way to go, dude.
How do you feel about that?
I really don't have many thoughts about it in general, to be honest.
Do you
I haven't
remember
spent much
it?
time thinking about it.
Do you remember it?
Oddly enough, not really.
That's
it's almost
probably
as
good.
It's almost as if part of me,
Died?
yes.
Jinx, you owe me a coat.
Okay, I will get you one. There's probably a vending machine.
You already lost again.
But the founders are operating under the theory that hiding you in a more public location may actually work to our advantage this time.
Yeah, because I got a haircut and so they won't recognize us.
Oh, true, you did.
Thank you for noticing.
Actually, I didn't. I didn't realize it was you at first. That was a joke.
Good one.
So after going around for a while, it comes to a stop at another platform. The door pops open, and you are able to exit and enter into a nearby. The arrows continue to point you toward the door. That is an elevator.
A door elevator.
A door elevator, as it were.
Is it one of those freight elevators that has a little cage?
Actually, no.
Okay.
What?
I've never been in one of those.
I don't even
One day.
But as you get inside and hit the only button that's there, it takes you up, pops open, and opens up on an apartment that clearly is older. It hasn't been completely remodeled, although it seems to be in decent-ish shape. As you explore the place later on, you'll find that there are a lot of older, things like, a clawfoot tub and, that kind of feel to it. Yeah, a couple of them. There's some Popeye comic books strewn about.
Good call back.
And thank you for that. I learned from the master. So, but also, as soon as it opens in the main sitting room right across from you, you see a figure sitting in a chair with it just kind of kicked back in this easy chair, but you don't recognize this person. And as you step out, the person looks up from the tablet that they're looking at, and just kind of, about time. Or I'm sorry.
About time.
Oh, who do we see?
We see a dude we don't recognize.
Who do they see?
Hey, Crash.
Hello, stranger.
I'm not a stranger, Crash. I'm just wearing a different form. Come on, 3 guesses. First 2 don't count.
Is it Nick?
Yes.
That one didn't count.
Oh, no, the first 2 incorrect ones didn't count.
Oh, okay.
Oh. Is it Nathan?
No.
It's Nick.
You
Hi,
missed-
Nick.
Hey. How are
Hey,
you?
how are you? Yeah, it's weird.
Hanging in there.
So who's this?
I don't know.
Okay. Do you know anything about him?
He wasn't using his body at the time.
Okay.
Okay.
Was he dead?
Isn't that what that means?
Kinda.
Kinda.
Everything tastes like formaldehyde, so
Oh, then there you go.
I got this weird Y-shaped scar on my chest.
Well, that's from an autopsy. That's disgusting.
Yeah, that's hence why the sweater. The dark sweater, I learned you don't want to wear a lighter cardigan with this.
Why?
Leaks.
I
That's
get it.
exactly.
Leaks. There's leaks.
Lots of
Ew.
leaks.
That's gross.
I have lots of
I'm not gonna hug you
material.
anymore. I was going to, but I'm not going to.
That's
now.
probably for the best. There.
I'm not getting you in my mind.
Could we find you something better?
That would be nice.
Yeah, let's
I appreciate
do.
the gesture, but they can't track this one.
Because it's dead.
That's really smart.
Yeah,
That's Nick,
I
the
mean,
smartest one.
in theory, it is.
No one ever expects the corpse. Worst Monty Python sketch ever. Just keep dropping
So
from the
good.
ceiling.
No one
Never
suspects
mind.
No, it's good.
Thank you, I appreciate that,
Yeah,
Vanessa.
yeah.
Basically, I've been playing dead since the cave.
So you just lay around?
Well, no, first I jumped into one of Jebediah's henchmen, but he expected that, and he killed me, so I just lay in the body for a while, and then jumped into a fishing trawler into, I think it was a bluefin.
What, you were a fish?
It's
For a while.
tuna.
Anything with a sufficiently advanced brain stem. It took a while to download everything, so I had to ride all the way to the cannery, got out of there into another recently deceased form. It kind of narrowed my options for a while. Thing is, I don't remember every individual jump because there wasn't as much activity in a decaying brain.
No.
So, anyway, where have you been?
In the wilderness. We were outside Sentinel City. It was great.
Remember the wasteland that was on the other side of the pillars?
No.
Yeah, we were there. Picture a wasteland.
I had a man.
You remember Sentinel City?
No.
You remember...
You know superheroes? Okay, there was a bubble of superheroes. Outside of the superheroes was a wasteland, a toxic wasteland full of nothing. And we were there.
What, Comicsgate?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what that is, but sure.
Steampunky.
There were man-bats
I had
and
one.
zombies.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
Yeah, it was.
It was like heavy metal, but like no.
It was horrible.
Oh, that sounds awful.
But we survived.
You did. Is everyone else with you? How did,
Rosie decided to take a break at the diner.
were they serving grits?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. She was into it.
So,
And Tessa was looking for us.
Yeah, I saw her, but she went through a portal.
Right.
So that's that update on that.
That's all we know.
Nick, at the time since you were put back in contact with the founders, you've seen Thomas off and on. You know, the two of you have, had some interactions, but by and large, you've been on your own. You know that Tessa was looking for them.
okay.
And you knew that they were on their way back. Thomas had filled you in on that much. So you're smart enough to presume that Tessa is no longer looking for them, because they've been found. You don't know where she is. You haven't had any direct contact.
Can't say I know where Tessa is.
Okay.
That's fair. So what are we supposed to do now? Can
Oh,
we just
and-
hide here?
But you have heard through the grapevine, you have picked up from your time spent with Jebediah's men, you are aware that Nathan left the island in the custody of Jebediah's soldiers.
Yep.
Which I don't think has come up on the show yet.
So we don't
We don't know that.
So he got
If he tells you that, then you
Okay.
know it. But
I tell them that.
so he got
That is bad
taken.
news.
That's bad.
So is that our mission? I mean, do we need to free Nathan?
I would think so.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd want to
Or-
be freed.
But we don't know where they're keeping him,
No.
do we?
No.
Do you?
No. But you could probably find out because you're really smart.
Well,
Don't do that. Stuff's coming off.
Oh.
no. I need to
Gross.
Cool.
super glue.
I feel extra connected to the undead for some reason. No, I know exactly why.
It's because of Lady Vale.
Yeah.
That's true. Aquamarine, this is actually, you do feel to yourself a little bit, it's a little creepy to you how uncreeped out you are by Nick right now.
That's how I really do feel.
Yeah, there's a little part of you that's kind of like, interesting.
All right, Thomas. Is this everyone who's coming?
Well, what?
Coming. Where are we going? Just to go rescue Nathan?
Yeah, Thomas comes, reappears. I'm sorry, I missed the question.
Is this everyone?
For now, yes. It does appear that our team has been slightly reduced in numbers. It is my understanding from having conversation with Rosie that she has decided to remain within Joe's Diner for at least a short future.
It's because you can't get her there. She doesn't like any of us.
Oh,
She
I
doesn't like
understand.
any founders or any programs.
I do believe that given some time, she will choose to come back to the group.
She likes us.
She feels responsible for us.
Well, now we can.
Not the same.
She can rest for a little while if she can. Eat her grits anyway.
Similarly, it is my understanding that you all are invited to do the same, at least for a few days or so. There is some rumblings of news on the Jebediah front, but until something more specific has come up, I do not believe there's any reason for you to leave this facility.
Well, I'd like to trade up before this gets mushy.
Oh, excellent. I understand.
Oh,
And he has a separate room, right?
Yes, you each have, there are at least 2 bedrooms out there. And Nick, you do have the option during the day, and we don't have to go into the nitty-gritty details, but there is also another way out besides the one that goes to the subway that will let you out in a more secluded part of, what do I want to say? You can take the elevator into the main facility, and it's just that there is a unmarked stop on that elevator. So it's not like you press a regular button, go to that floor. It's there's some sort of nifty code that gets you there.
Nifty.
In other words, you could just leave out the regular elevator doors and come back in if you want.
And why would I want to do that?
To
If
get
you want to be less mushified.
a non-disgusting body.
Yeah, but there's ethical ramifications there.
yeah, I wish.
They're already dead.
Oh, yes. What I need is a fresher one, but I'm not just going to steal one from somebody.
Yeah, but you
Kill
could.
somebody.
You could.
Yes, but that's there's
maybe-
that moral implications.
We
there,
could go to a
Crash.
We
morgue.
can kill a bad guy.
We could go to the morgue and get a John Doe who nobody has claimed.
Yeah, that would be easy. We could easily steal a body.
You've been here for 5 minutes and you're talking about murder and corpse theft.
I haven't punched a giant robot in days at
you-
this point.
You're really gross.
Like, this is not going to be super exciting unless we're doing something.
You've been in arena for weeks and haven't showered.
You don't have an Xbox here? Let's go break into a morgue.
I don't see the solution for that being the morgue.
You do have a few days that you're able to hang out in this apartment, get cleaned up, eat some food, rest.
so now I'm clean.
Pull yourself back together a bit.
Oh, now
you
you
were
feel-
fairly clean because of the prestidigitation.
Yeah, because Rosie had cast a spell that we were always clean. So
And our hair was done.
I see.
Yes. And there
Wanna see me cough
there
cockroaches?
isn't the latest and greatest in the Xbox Crash, but there is at least like a 360 or something there for you.
Okay, cool.
so gross.
How many was in that?
Are you Beetlejuicing it right now?
There were like 3 in that
So
one.
disgusting.
That's awful. I want to get him a new
Aquamarine
body.
loves this.
I would actually watch a Beetlejuice remake with Matt Vancel as Beetlejuice.
You would be so good.
That would be entertaining.
I actually watched Beetlejuice recently, and yeah.
That would be, yeah, you could totally pull that off. Because it's just enough like Dwarmithrax that like,
Thank you for the most unexpected yet gratifying compliment.
Like, it's like, that touches you a little, doesn't it?
I love Michael Keaton.
I think he did a great job in the film, but like, I never thought of it until right now. I could totally see you playing that role and knocking it out of the park.
Plus, he dresses like I look when I get out of the bed in the morning.
You wear those striped pajamas?
Oh man, I would kill for a pair of those. Anyone for a low price. They don't even have to be.
And then we
cream.
could use their body.
And then we
That's
can
it.
give it to Nick.
Again, we're not murdering someone for their
Right.
body.
No, no.
What if we knock them out? You can take over people who are alive.
Yes, I can temporarily. This is a bad idea.
So this conversation goes on off and on for a couple of days. You know, it seems to be a recurring theme as you're getting the band back together, so to speak. As you've gone around the apartment, you do realize that there is a room with metapods.
Oh,
Oh, well, that's good.
So that you do have that access in this space, which is nice.
How are we keeping
Okay.
Crash out of it?
I have no idea. I think Crash is pretty happy to just be online for a little while. You know, he's been stuck in Arena for 9 months, so.
So he's just into the Xbox at the moment.
look what happens when you don't touch your bank account. Interest.
Crash is beating like every single RPG out there, you know.
Cool.
But after a couple days of this, and Thomas has been checking in off and on, and finally one day, as you're finishing up breakfast, Thomas reappears and says, "My friends, I bring, well, not good news, not bad. I bring news. It does appear that we have managed to make some progress with our infiltrators within the program.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay, what does that mean though?
It means that we have a few people who are working within the program who are on our payroll, as it were.
Oh.
Okay,
Oh.
sneaky.
What, Brennan?
Oh yeah. Let me just
Never mind.
help you out.
I'm happy to report from what they have managed to pass along that we know more now about the current status of Jebediah, as well as his soldiers, troops, metapilots, etc.
He has his own metapilot?
Yes, you may recall that some of the people who were involved in the attack on the island did appear to have metapilot-esque powers.
Yeah.
You may also recall that on the fight, the assault on the mansion we previously used as a safe house, that there were metapilots present there as well. Or at the very least, individuals who appeared to have some form of superpowered or otherly powered abilities.
Yeah, I think I killed one.
Yes. As it
How recently
happened,
ago?
we ended that in a bit of a draw, as they did kill me. As it is.
Yeah, I'm really sorry.
Silver linings and all.
Yeah.
You weren't awake yet.
On the plus side, as I've said before, I don't recall any of it, so, nah.
That happens. There's some memories of death don't survive the actual death of the brain. They fall within that 5-minute window between memories
So
going
wait,
from short-term
we
to
could
long-term
die
memory.
and we wouldn't even know it for a few minutes or longer?
You might not realize it because there's no future state to remember the moment of death, unless you have a backup or otherwise. Yes, crash.
That's pretty cool.
So as near as we can determine, it appears that the program has been making some improvements to the metapods. Additionally, they seem to have settled upon a more effective and efficient manner of recruiting new pilots.
Okay.
Okay.
Rather than going down the route of, well, kidnapping or coercing or otherwise forcing,
Oh, right.
Right.
Right?
Like all of us.
Yeah. Why? Who would think of
So
that?
you're not doing that anymore? Is
they
that-
have developed a recruitment program built around a virtual reality interactive immersive video game that they claim to be playing.
Say what?
So they don't know?
Indications are that the pilots involved are not fully aware of exactly what they are doing.
Just getting
But-
Ender's gaming.
So they're jumping in. They don't know that they're in people. Well, we didn't know we were in people.
I knew it wasn't people.
Well, we didn't know we were in people. They
How
just.
did they recruit you?
We weren't
How did they
told it was a
recruit
game.
me?
They
Blackmail.
blackmail, kidnap,
I showed up.
combo.
Yeah.
This is true,
Right.
Crash. You did effectively volunteer. That does, however, make you quite rare.
But I do want to get paid.
Yeah.
We get paid.
Oh,
I don't know, but I want to.
me too. Can we get paid?
The founders have been putting small amounts within your personal banking accounts.
How small?
You would have to check and see what your current balance is.
It's a small,
Pittance.
well, each pay period is a small amount, but they begin at the earliest time you've been on a mission. So back in Teddy's time, you've been accruing interest since at least the 1860s.
Wait, they paid me in 1860?
Yeah. Not much, but $3 in
Inflation.
1860s money worth now is substantially more.
$6 billion.
It's not six. That's not how that works.
It's a little rougher than that, given that some of the realities you've leapt into are disconnected. However,
right.
the basic concept is true. Each one of you has, over the course of your adventures, managed to acquire not necessarily a fortune, but certainly enough for a comfortable standard of living.
You're not Hampton's rich, more like Aspen rich.
Right.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm
So these
sorry,
people,
Aquaman, yes.
so these people think this is a game. That's what you're saying.
Yes.
That's sick.
That's really
Do you mean sick like
Effed up.
the cool thing that you
No,
like?
no, the sadistic kind.
Okay.
Murderously sick. But I mean, it's awesome. Like, great villains.
Fittingly enough,
It's
that has at
horrible.
times been the result of the recruitment efforts. The violence enacted by the recruits has been shown to dramatically increase when they are not aware that there are any actual repercussions for their actions.
Are they all 13-year-old boys?
No,
What?
How many are there?
13-year-old boys?
we're not currently
A lot.
aware. We know of at least 50. Oh, it was
50?
100?
For what?
I'm trying to remember the first interaction in which we experienced any news of these new metapilots. Or I should say, potential pilots.
You're trying to remember.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember how many there were.
300.
There was 300.
Yes.
At least 300 who have been recruited.
Oh,
In various stages of training and development.
there's 300
How
people
long?
out there invading other people's bodies.
But
Way
wait,
more than that.
it gets worse. That was at least one class's worth. Additionally, keep in mind that as near as we can determine, the person in charge of, if not recruitment and the overall program, at least some of the missions upon which they embark, does appear to be our old friend Jebediah.
I'm glad he found work.
Ugh.
Yes, he's been quite busy.
Hey,
What's he doing with them?
It remains to be seen. As near as we can determine, most of them are currently in a training process. We assume that he is trying to build their repertoire of powers and abilities, presumably with the end goal of sending them after us.
Why is he training so many people just to come after 4 people?
Remains to be determined.
How many people can you punch at once when you're fully activated?
I don't know. All of them?
How many people would you send against someone like that?
how many people would you send
But if
against?
they can do the same kinds of things,
Maybe.
it's overkill in intent.
But how many people would you send after Bombshell?
Okay? 20.
It also remains to be seen just how trained any of them are at this present moment.
Right, but they've had some time.
Do you know where they are?
Time is not experience.
We know less where they are and more where they've been. I've been asked by the founders to send you off on an additional mission, using the metapods in the adjacent room, into one of the locations in which we know that some of these pilots have most recently been.
Okay.
So what, are we going to fix what they broke?
It remains to be seen. We do not know exactly what is on the other side.
But they're not there. You know that. Or they might be.
Remains to be seen.
Oh, great.
Question marks.
So we see big
I'm
bad
going to use
things.
I'm going to try and make a stealth roll to see if I can get undressed without everyone noticing.
Go for it.
That's a 9. My stealth is a 10. I made it by 1. Like while they're all talking.
They are just distracted enough to not really notice that you've reverted into old habits.
And
Yeah.
or we don't care.
That's also part of it. Is it's just kind of used to it at this point.
Yes, I am. Next time you look over, I am nude with my clothes in my hands, ready to go to the metapod.
There you go.
Well, it's time to
Alright.
go, apparently.
Some things never change.
Yes.
Okay,
All right.
remember, Thomas, this time, please set the internal temperature of my metapods to -2 degrees Celsius.
Absolutely, and I do apologize for the last time.
What happened?
Did he cook you?
Best not mentioned. We're not using that pod anymore.
It's probably stinky. We need to get you a
Smells a
living
bit
body,
like
bud.
borscht.
There's a reason people think this is an abomination. That's really gross.
He can't help it. It's not his fault.
I know, but it's disgusting.
I am standing right here.
That's why I'm telling you, because you're my best friend.
I appreciate that, but
not
I'm already
trying.
aware of how
You're super gross, Nick.
I am a shambling monstrosity.
Okay, I'm just saying, like, let's
Well, let's go into
I was
the.
aware of this before. I have the Y
go
shape.
find like a bad meth dealer or something, and you can go and be in him for a while.
I don't want a methed out guy who has a whole bunch of
No,
angry
look, really
former
good meth
customers
dealers
hunting for
don't
him.
do meth.
Here's the problem.
True.
Why do
He's
you know
fine,
that?
You guys, just
I watched
leave him
Breaking
alone.
Bad.
It's me hugging you, kind of.
Let's
Then,
go
like-
be whatever those other people were, so we can fix whatever they did and get him a body that doesn't stink.
Right. Plus, I'm naked,
Right, and there's that.
and I go get in my pod.
That's when you failed the spell, the check right there. Yeah, so you go and climb into the metapods, and it's just like old times.
The metapods.
So you know what I would say, the shells come down, all of the familiar sights and sounds.
Led Zeppelin starts playing.
Exactly, everything's ripping through, the lights going by, it's all
Turn it
dramatic,
down, Crash.
all of the stuff.
Come on, Crash. Crash. I'm dead, not deaf.
I like the idea that you are just yelling that from inside your pod the whole time.
You can only hear it a little bit.
I love that. That's really funny.
At that point, Thomas looks over at the other three of you. At what point should we let him know that that's the pod that's not turned on yet? I'm kidding.
Let him finish.
5 minutes later, so then he all set up.
Lighter.
And yeah, you
We're
go
into it
through
now.
whippy through all this stuff, and you find yourselves slapped down in the forms of these cute, cuddly little creatures. They're about 8 inches high, and I believe they're arboreal. At least at times.
They're furry and arboreal.
And they have prehensile tails.
They live in trees. They have prehensile tails.
They have tails?
And
no, they're very round.
Yeah, they're very round.
Like
and they have big floppy ears.
Yeah, very floppy ears. They are called borks, and you're aware of that as soon as you land inside your bork.
Well, this is some bullshit.
I believe you're actually Bjorn Bork.
Bjorn Bork?
Bjorn Bork?
Who is clearly a little Scandiborkian.
Well, this is some bullshit.
And actually, Borks can't swear. They only can say Bork when they would want to.
Well, this is some bullshit.
There we go.
I think I'd rather stay dead.
Okay, so Bjorn Bork.
Yeah. So how about we introduce our characters right now? You don't have to say everything about them, but these are round arboreal little fuzzy creatures. And Crash, who are you in right now?
I can't swear.
My name's Borky by Borky. They say I'm the Bubbaest of the Borks. That's just a Borky line. I ain't nothing too Borky about me. I'm fairly Borky as far as Borks go, but I ain't never borked another Bork in my life, man. It's unnatural.
I can't not see Blake Shelton.
So what was the name though? What was the Bork?
It's a Borky Bob Borkton.
Borky Bob.
Borky Bob Borkton.
Yep.
Well, it's unfortunate, but I'm Bjorn Bork, the Bjorkest of Borks.
Bjorkest?
I've only got 2 skills: borking and bjorking.
For your other skills, let me know what you want to do, and I will
My
make
vengeance
the
will
equivalent
be
roll.
complete and unexpected.
And yes, you are the Bjorkest of Borks, and I believe you also have one of your attacks, as I recall, is a sonic stun attack, or excuse me, a distraction attack if you sing.
Swan song if you sing them.
Swan song, yeah.
Because
The swan, yeah.
I think man, that's working funny.
Let's go.
And Jenica.
I got to sing.
Okay, so I'm the vilest of Borks. I am Dr. Borker Borkenstein, and I like to make things out of dead things.
This is true. I like it.
How did you wind up with that character?
Because I can't do that.
Meta.
And then we also have.
I am Bergie. Ergie. She probably has an English accent because she's the Duchess of Bork. The Duchess of Bork. Bergie. I am the Duchess of Bork. Spoiled, entitled, and arrogant.
This is why
but also
puns at
heavily engaged in charity work.
Charity Bork?
Charity Bork.
Charity Bork.
Yes.
Charity Bork. And Mark doesn't like when I do that, so I'll put that down.
So you find yourselves in these various Borks. You've been summoned by the Royal Bork and Bork of Borkovania. Borkovania. I'm sorry. And
What have you done?
as you enter into the Royal Bork chamber, the Royal Bork and Bork gesture to you, sitting on their lavish Borkish thrones, and one of the Borks says, "It has been Borks, and it's not just you who's here. There are all of these Borks who've been summoned by the Royal Bork and Bork."
Oh my goodness, so many Borks
And one of them says, it's been Borks since we heard from our Borking friends in Borkdom, and the Festival of the Borks is nearly Borking here. I'm looking for any Borketeers to invest a Bork.
Borketeers? Is that volunteers or musketeers? Which one are the...
I was also wondering.
Borketeers! Borketeers to
You
invest a
didn't
Bork.
answer the question.
What say you, Borks?
What?
Bork! Is that right?
This sounds very
have-
Borking good.
I think this is
we
borked
have
up
at least
beyond all recognition.
Borketeers. Come on, what are you, Borks or Borks?
Borks! I am the Bork, the Duchess of Bork, thank you.
Bark this Björk in the bark hole.
I'm so happy with this.
I bet you are, you son of a bitch.
I didn't create this world. The Borks are not my fault.
But they never said Bork that much.
I said it a lot.
Here's part of a hashtag meltdown.
Ooh.
Bork.
Bork.
Oh, thank you, chat.
Chat.
Bork.
So, yes, so it takes a little bit, but the four of you do feel as pilots that there's a good chance, actually Thomas appears. That's the simplest way to push the plot. I remember why he exists. There you go.
I've got one of those too. Hawaiian shirted fella.
Yeah.
Really gets things moving.
It's really helpful.
Bork.
Were you talking to Rhett Butler there? What was that?
It was my fan.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a boy.
It was the fan. The fan like inspired a voice for me.
Keeping it. That's a floor in this studio because we can't actually make it all the way to the floor because it's so small.
Oh, there's
dropped the
one.
thing, the slider
there's
left.
one. Oh, I don't need it.
Both
And
up
take a
like
drink.
this.
I'm
Yes.
Let's see if I can get it with my feet.
She's
Okay.
a Southern Duchess.
She's a Southern Duchess. Yes. She's whatever you want to be. She's a Southern
She's a
Bork
Duchess of South Borkton.
South Borkton.
from South Bork.
Am I close? I'm trying to find it with my foot.
I can't see it anymore because of where you moved your foot. In West Borkadelphia, born and raised.
On the Borkton. Bork
Is where I borked most of my days.
Borking.
Barking out backs and
Borking
nuts, so cool. Playing some bork
Borking.
ball outside of the school.
When it
What a
comes
couple
to
of
Borks, they were up to no good. Started making bork in my neighborhood.
Borkingwood.
My neighbor Bork. Or no, my
My
Bork.
neighbor Bork.
I borked in
One little bork, and my mom got bork. She said, "You moving with your Fanny and Uncle and bork air."
I whistled for a Bork, and when it came near,
The license plate said bork, and it had no bork in the air. If anything, I would think this bork was rare, but I thought, no, forget it. Yo, bork air.
I thought, now borking. All right, bork this. Let's keep moving, man.
okay, so
Thomas begins moving plot forward.
he does, and Thomas says, as near as we can determine, Jebediah's soldiers, once they arrived in this location, his pilots as they were, appear to have caused some sort of disturbance in this section of the metaverse. And
They were more disturbed than we were already disturbed.
where are you on the spectrum right now, or the slider?
I don't know. I'm in a Bork. I thought I could
I'm
talk
in high
about a Bork.
functioning at the very
True.
least.
Now I remember why we call them sliders. And so as a result, I do believe that the odds are high that your presence here is indicative of a need to investigate and determine what exactly happened via the presence of Jebediah's
I would like to
pilots.
know what happened. So we need to investigate what the Bork happened here.
Why are you
Exactly.
smoking?
I'm now just got need something to bork on for a minute. Get kind of borkish in the middle of the
If
day,
you
and
die,
I
I
seem
could
to
take
munch
your.
on.
If you die because of all the smoking, I could take your parts and put them back together and make you into something.
Yeah, I
alive
have no
again.
idea what the Bork you just said.
I could totally make you alive again.
Excuse me, I'm the Borkenteer. I am your #1 Borkenteer. Let's do this.
Fantastic. So the Royal Bork and Bork of Borkelvania
I'm not writing that down.
send you off in the general direction of Borkdom
Where are we now?
to go and find out what has happened out there. Now, you have several options.
Borking.
Well, I mean, you can
Borking?
bork, but however, as the trip to Borkdom is a little bit further than is standard for a Bork to travel, even while bouncing, or borking, if you will, the Royal Bork and Bork.
Borkiating.
Borkiating, that's true, they have
That's how we go,
borkiation.
Borkinated.
Borkiation, because there are borkial.
Right.
Because there are borkial. But as a result, the fastest and most efficient way for you to go would be that the Royal Bork and Bork have given you access to some of their, and additionally, the fastest way is across a lake. And so it's important to have water transport.
Can I swim?
Well, you don't need to swim, because instead what they have set you up with is some mounts that you can take.
Horses?
No, they're trained capybara.
I love the capybara. They're my
The Knights of
favorite.
Borkdom rode flying squirrels.
Yes.
We don't get those.
No, you get capybara who have been trained in capoeira.
Oh.
Do you see what he does to the things that I make?
They're rodents of unusual size.
You take that hate, you pack it into a little ball, and you let it grow, and you wait till it's your turn.
I love you, Matt Bensel.
I'm deliberately not replying.
Number one borken tier.
So you climb up on your capybara, and they take you off
Do we
to the
each
lake.
get our own capybara, or are there 4 of us on one
There are
capybara?
4.
Will somebody
You each
please
have
just
your
tell
own.
me what the bork she keeps saying? I cannot understand
You
the
have
borkin
4
word that comes out of her mouth.
You have 4 capybara.
ridiculous.
You each have a capybara that you can take to get across the lake, and so you do. You.
Do we have to like dance fight each other to see who gets to go first in line?
Oh, I
No,
get
that
to
would
go
be
first.
ridiculous. That would be silly.
The Duchess of Bork goes to go first, please.
The capybara may be trained in capoeira, but that doesn't mean they have to use it all the time. It just
Right.
means they have a way to defend themselves, if it ever came down to it.
But not like an actual effective way to defend themselves.
No, but it's very stylish.
Looks amazing, cinematic, really.
Yeah.
It can distract people while we're climbing the trees.
So they
What do you keep saying? Nobody can understand you, man.
Just nod politely.
Yeah.
So you cross the lake,
Bjorken 925.
and you get to look. You are then once you're back on the ground, you are able to continue on foot, and it does take the better part of a day for you to reach, even with these mounts,
All in a day's boy.
to get out to the land of Noah Radin. These capybara do not have a cap they wear,
What?
but I was asked in chat if they
He
did.
brought that back. Okay.
They asked. I was answering.
Oh.
That would be silly for them to have
They have the
that.
cap they wear.
Yes, that would be stupid.
But after the best part of a day, you do find yourself entering into the land of Borkdom. And,
the idyllic land of Borkdom.
Except it doesn't seem that idyllic. As you look around, you
Are
see
there dead things?
evidence of a great fire through
Dead
this
things.
area. And in fact, if some of you want to give me a
Borking check?
yeah, actually, give me a borking check.
Great.
I beat mine by 2. Are there dead things I can use?
You know, I'm gonna move a bit towards my
There-
Borkness there. I'm gonna use my meta point.
Okay, there are actually some corpses around.
Ooh, can I
Corpses,
use
you
them?
say? Human corpses?
There is a human corpse that you come across.
Oh!
Dibs.
What would you do with
What are
it?
you doing
Not
with
being the Bork.
Oh, right.
I think Dr.
Bork is
Borkenstein
taking it home.
is hoping to get some use out of that at some point. But
Oh, never mind.
but there is a fairly charbroiled human corpse there,
Awesome.
What do Borks eat?
and there are also
Borkberries, duh.
yeah, borkberries, and there are also a number of charred remains of Borks who appear to have been popped.
Ew.
That is the grossest barking thing I have ever
Can I
seen.
put the popped borks onto the human and make a really cool thing out of it?
Sure.
Why would you ever
That is
do
barking
that?
disgusting.
What does a popped Bork look like?
Well, they're filled with a purple jelly-like substance that smells and tastes very sweet.
Oh, do Borks like the
It's like a
taste?
candy filling that squirts out. They're like gushers.
Okay, well,
but furry.
Aquamarine wants to taste this here.
I mean, you're in the middle right now, so if Aquamarine wants to taste it, though.
You can't really stop the Bork from licking blood from another Bork.
This is good, though.
Oh. It's like delightful Borkberry jam.
What do I have to do in order to create my crazy golem of Bork human?
You would need to give me some sort of
laboratory.
Yes.
Laboratory.
I need several. I need a borking check.
I need several buildings and employees to make this happen.
Welcome to the latest Metaverse. Population Bork and puns. Also known as Chris's Disneyland. Hashtag Metacoin.
Thank you, chat.
Okay, I'm using 2 of those.
It's so fun to be
I've
Borky.
got my borking check.
Okay.
Now what?
And then you're also going to need a couple of mind checks.
Okay.
Mind check!
I'm just gonna become one more Bork.
I beat that one by 5.
Okay.
And then I beat that one. I think that one's a 1. Yeah, it is. Okay. I beat that one by 10.
Okay, so you have begun, while the others are doing what they were called to do, which was to investigate borked them.
I'm gonna use it later.
That was a scary ass face right there.
Vile.
Scary borking face. I'm sorry. It's true. It is the vilest of borks.
Vile.
But
You are
borks
the-
are the cutest creatures, so it's only like an attempt to be vile.
I'm very vile.
As vile as, say, Elmo.
I'm very, very vile.
I'm enjoying this actually.
You're so vile.
Thank you.
You begin the process of crafting some sort of homunculus.
No,
Out
it's
of-
big. It's a human.
It'll take a while to get a full human going, but you can using your vile abilities as Victor
Yeah.
to start working on crafting some sort of
I'm gonna use it later.
henchbork who could be useful along
Yes.
the way. Meanwhile, the rest of
I've
you
always pictured it.
have your chance right now to continue to investigate this aftermath of whatever happened here.
Well, I ain't no fancy and borkstigator, but I will bork around,
Okay.
see what happened here. What kind of weapons did they get squished?
They seem to have been popped.
Popped like squeezed or boiled and they exploded
Like
or poked?
frequently like poked,
Okay.
as I recall.
Yes, they were.
They were poked.
Pork kebabs.
Oh yeah, I didn't actually roll that.
Hashtag meltdown, because why not?
Thank
I
you,
love it.
Chad.
Thanks,
That's
Chad.
going to be fun.
I beat my borking check by 5.
Awesome. So you're able to determine that it
around.
looks like most of these borks.
Were poisoned and then popped.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So these are those borks.
What would poison a bork?
Well, whatever it was in this pot.
Can I discern that because I'm a doctor?
Well, we can get to that in a second. So, yes, there is a large vat that seems to have been is in the area, and that was not
of borkberry tea.
Yeah, that somehow avoided the fire.
Workberry tea.
And so you can investigate it. You are a doctor, so if you want to give me a mind check.
I will give you a mind check.
And then some of you with your pilots may have abilities that would be useful
beat
in
that by
regards to that
5.
as well.
5. Beat it by 5.
Driving?
Boating would do it. By 5?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, as you investigate that vat, it does. You can tell that while you're not all that.
This is chock full of poison.
Yeah. You don't ingest it because you're not you're not bork.
I'm not working stupid.
Yeah, only a total bork would actually taste it. But you pull out a few little investigative tools that you have, and you get the sense that there's probably some poison of some sort in this.
Don't drink this.
Bork. I think it was borkberry juice.
Unless you want to become part of this big thing I'm making,
Borkberry tea, borkberry juice.
which I'm totally okay with.
No, thank you.
So somebody poisoned themselves? Somebody poisoned these borks during what looks like a party, maybe?
They would never have borked themselves.
But the human did not. But the human didn't bork them. That's for borking sure.
The Yumi.
The Hume is already dead.
The Yumi's got a big old hammer mark in the middle of his head.
Well, somebody
And
borked
clearly
him.
got borked to death.
The Hume does show a lot of signs of having been attacked by borks.
Good job, Borks.
Well, it looks like they
they're
threw a
dead
party
now.
when it was all said and done. And then they drank that tea, and then they were died. Or they got sick.
That sounds like a stupid way to go.
I wonder if my poison's knowledge skill.
You could use it, yeah, because you're not all the way avatar, so you could.
Hashtag Nickbuck for the Bjorkigist Bork. I have to hit the Bork, so I'll catch the rest on the Bork.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Chad.
you.
Thank you, Void
I was Void Smoker. Hey. I look forward to seeing what Void does with some of this.
Oh, man.
Yes. I would like to roll.
We
my
are so
poison.
borked.
Okay, I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, go for it.
Oh, I think I already failed it.
Well, you
If I'm
should be,
using the right
you should be
die.
rolling.
You're not using the right dice.
Yeah, you should be doing 2d10.
Oh my god.
You can use these two if you want.
Oh, this one. Yeah.
Ooh, that's good.
Okay, I rolled a 3.
Oh,
Out of
wow.
11. I rolled a 3 out of 11.
And this was on what on the poison?
Poisons. Just curious about like if I could tell what it is, so I could know where it might have come from.
Yeah, I mean, it's some sort of borken poison made
It's a
from
borkish poison.
Yeah,
These were whoever did the poisoning knows borkish. Like
yeah.
they were poisoned by borks.
I didn't do it.
You're pretty sure that it was Borkicide.
It wasn't me.
Some sort of Bork on Bork
I
action.
just refuse to believe in the Bork on Bork action
crime
in
is
this
at an all-time high.
It is.
situation. There must
And
be
Bork on
another
Bork
reason.
crime is not something that happens a lot, so that's kind of weird.
I think that there's foul play afoot a Bork here.
Well, violence is anathema to the Borks. Only the knights participate.
I know. I only clean up the dead ones. I don't kill them.
What? I can't understand a word you say. I'm so sorry.
I love that you have like the easiest to understand accent of any of them right now.
well,
Sorry, I picked one of you at random to do that with. That's how it goes.
there's no way that these Borks did this by themselves.
You think these Borks borked themselves?
No, I don't think these Borks borked themselves.
Well, somebody
I think
had to
someone
bork
else
them.
these Borks.
Give me a soul check.
Wait a
Actually,
minute.
you know what? No, just give me a Borkin check.
Can I intentionally fail
I
my
want a
soul
Bork
check?
check. Give me a Borking check,
I
please.
passed mine before.
A what check?
Barking.
Borking.
Oh, I'm really
Failed
good
by
at borking.
3.
Ooh.
What?
Failed by 3.
Okay.
Made it by 3.
Made it by 4.
Made it by 4.
Those of you who succeeded at your Borking check, you notice that you're not alone. As you have been going around, investigating this situation,
How ready is my guy?
you see movement over in some of the brushes back towards where the human was.
How ready is my guy?
Just hold your horses.
Can he block?
Hold your Borkin horses. Okay, so do you?
I'm borking.
Yeah, so you go and you move over in that Borkin direction,
Hide.
and you can be kind of sneaky over there, and you see that there is a single Bork. I can't look at you guys for this part. There's a single Bork who is kind of pacing a little bit around the Humi.
The dead one?
Yeah,
The one that I'm making into a big thing?
you started some process earlier.
Is it like growing and doing weird
Can I
stuff?
finish what I'm saying?
Okay, sorry, go.
And this one single Bork is kind of this Bork is kind of moving around the body and just kind of every once in a while will look down and kind of poke at pieces of it and maybe lift a little bit. I mean, not obviously a huge piece because it's too big. And the Bork is very disheveled. And the Bork is wearing a trench coat and has a cigar and is clearly doing some sort of investigative work around this dead Humi.
Who are you?
Who's there?
I am the Duchess of Bork.
Bergie?
Yes, Bergie.
Oh, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Why are you poking my Humi?
Who are you?
Me?
Yes.
I'm Bolumbork. I'm a private Bork.
Why are you poking my Humi?
Oh, I was trying to figure out what Bork had happened here.
Oh, wow.
Well, I'm gonna use him. You can't have him.
What?
You can't have him. I want him. He's mine.
I don't want him. I just want to figure out what happened.
Okay, fine, but then he's mine.
Who are you reporting to?
Well, my employer is not necessarily someone who I need to divulge even to you, Bergie.
What is the foliage type of this forest? Palm tree, deciduous?
Deciduous.
Deciduous, okay.
Fruit trees.
Fruit trees, okay. So are there any branches that are still, is it all burnt or are there sections of it that aren't?
It looks like someone borderline torched this thing from like just all over the place.
Do Borks wear clothes?
Some do.
Are there any clothes in the surviving, or in the Borks that are dead?
I mean, there's scraps, there's remnants.
I have a
Like, is
lab
there
coat.
anything in particular you're looking for?
I'm
Or
looking for enough material to fashion a line, a rope.
a
I'm
rope?
wearing a lab coat, but you can't have it.
I mean, you could start.
And there's many vines.
Yeah.
Are there vines?
Oh yeah, we swing on everything.
Okay, well then I take a vine and I hang myself.
Trigger warning.
No. No. This doesn't make any sense.
Oh, that doesn't make any sense.
Bjorn. Bjorn, no!
I can medicate him.
So are you all here trying to? What
We're also trying to figure out what the Borg happened here, man.
Oh, fantastic!
Chris, no more presents. Not for a very long borking time. Hashtag crash.
Thanks, Bax.
Thank
That's true. You can't kill a Bork by strangling it.
Yeah.
Well, now you tell me. How about drowning? Can we drown?
It basically just makes him one of those balls that you have the paddle and the string.
Wow. What color are we?
Usually a variety of anything that a flower or a leaf could be.
Cool. Okay.
Anyway, yeah, I was hired to come out here and try to figure out exactly what it was that prompted this Borkicide.
Was this poison?
I whip up the antidote and I force feed the bastard.
I didn't create this world.
Well, the strong survive. That's my motto.
Yeah, no, clearly some other Borks borked these Borks by making this tea poison. This tea right here.
That's okay. It's only the poison only is good the first day or so
Right.
that it's been.
Borkish
Gone
sorcery,
bad.
of course, is what made it. So
Yep. I actually kind of like the idea that for the rest of the show, Matt is continually foiled and trying to kill off his character.
he's drinking poison, attempting to hang himself with a bungee cord.
Anyway.
I think your buddy there might need to see a Borkatherapist. Just saying. What?
Porcupist?
So, in this medieval setting that we are all in currently, where I am now a redneck, she's in English, and you are a detective. Did the king hire you, sir? Are you
Yes.
sent from the king?
Tell us who you're working for.
I guess nothing bad would come from it. No, it was hired by Baby Bork.
I see.
Baby pork.
Yeah.
And is he around here where we can tell? Does he know what happened? Was he present?
No, Baby Bork is in hiding.
Right, just borked off somewhere.
Yeah.
All right.
Why does he... answered my own question.
I mean, Baby Bork told me a few things. You know, you mentioned the, you mentioned the Knights at one point.
Right, this is where they're from. The Knights of Borkdom are
Yeah.
from this village.
Well, I mean, you know, you only want to take the word of Baby Bork so far, but Baby Bork says the Knights of Borkdom, Borkin did this.
The person who hired you to bork out what happened here told you ahead of time who done it.
Well, I don't believe Baby Bork.
So your detecting is really just confirming what some other Bork already borked you.
To a degree, yeah. You know, I'm kind of new at this
One
business.
more thing.
Yeah.
Sorry, Bork Lumbo, I had to.
One more thing.
One more thing.
Nice reference. One more thing.
Columbork does sound better.
But all the Borks have B names.
I wanted to use Columbork. I thought I had to
Columbork.
start with a B, though.
Oh, no, just those groups all started with B.
Oh, in that case, yeah, Columbork, obviously.
Anyway.
But yeah, Baby Bork claimed that Blinky and Betty and Blake and Bowie all went borking crazy,
And just borked all the other Borks.
borked all the other Borks.
Do they still have all their night stuff?
I don't know where the, well,
Where'd
Well, they
they
had
go?
to poke these holes with something.
Where'd they go?
I mean, I've heard rumors.
Great. What are they?
Yes.
Well, what rumors have you heard, man? I mean, you got to be here for a reason.
Well, Blinky hasn't been seen since the fire. You know, the creepiest of Borks.
No.
And Betty,
what?
the biggest borking Bork
That ever borked.
that ever borked,
Betty's big.
I'm told that Betty is seeing a borknotherapist somewhere.
Borknotherapist.
And Blake, the borkiest Bork,
He is so borky.
joined a Borkastory.
A what?
A Borkastory.
A what?
Borkastery. My bad. I mispronounce
Borkastery.
words sometimes. Or Borkastery. You know,
Okay.
took a life of
Yes,
celebrating.
yes, we know.
You know, joined the damsels of Borkington.
And Bowie?
Bowie, the broodiest Bork. Picked up some addiction. Keeps drinking hard Borkberry cider. You can't hear anything that, you know, you can't get anything useful out of Barry anymore. Or Bowie anymore.
I've never actually heard a heart attack happen next to me before until today. But like, I can literally hear his blood pressure going up right now.
Okay, I'm using my Nick buff.
Also, with the turnip, like right there
There.
behind him, is just a picture.
How you feeling, man?
Borky,
I love that it was like,
You
Matt,
like you saw
we miss
Bork
you.
and
Come
Ghost."
and play again.
you look borked.
Yes.
You sound funny.
Yes, I do. I'm certain I do. Can I take a look at the forensic evidence, please?
Someone better look at the evidence right now.
I will slap that fan right out of your hand.
You try.
Look, man.
I roll the dish.
What?
Okay, I slap the fan out of her hand.
Give me an attack roll. Actually, give me a Bork. You have a bounce attack. I
I'm not
believe.
using the bounce attack. I'm Nick.
He's slapping.
Oh, okay, yeah. Give me your attack.
And I need to use some of my slapbacks.
Yeah,
here.
I beat it by
defense.
7.
Right, so give me a defensive check.
I lost it by 1.
Okay, so Nick slaps you as hard as he can.
No, the
Slaps
fan. I'm not
out
going
of
to
her
slap
hand,
her.
and she's doing this thing. And he
No,
just
but you
slaps
beat
the
it by
fan.
7.
Okay.
So I mean, he goes to slap the fan, and accidentally hits Bergie, which just sends Bergie bouncing backwards into a tree where she bounces off, and then Borking is right back where she started.
She slowly gets up from it, like.
And you take no damage.
Sorry, Aqua. I was actually aiming for the fan, but that was way more satisfying.
It's her tiny
I'm
little
way
arms.
more Bergie right now than Aqua, so
Yeah.
Bergie's.
But you take no damage at all.
All right.
She's super impervious to blunt force trauma.
Correct.
Same.
All right.
But she remembers.
I'm really trying as Borkin hard as I can to take this really Borkin seriously, but something about these cute little bodies are just prone to wackiness. I mean, I really just want to bounce and frolic right now, man.
You go right ahead. I'm going to have words with Mr. Columbork here.
Yeah, what can I do?
When did you arrive?
I mean, well, okay, so my Mama Bork and Daddy Bork.
Borked.
That's not how that works, guys.
Are there any flowers
kidding.
nearby?
I know, because they, this even
Did
came
it
up
pop
during the
out of, like,
episode.
flowers or something?
They, was it like amoebas? No, how did they reproduce?
They split.
Yeah, like amoeba, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
great. Yeah, I meant.
So years
Haven't
ago,
seen it here.
I split off from
I find
this
the
other.
prettiest flower I possibly can, and I crush it in front of it.
Oh, that's just Borkin sad.
Yeah, now, please, focus.
I take
Yeah.
that flower and I put it on the big meat humy that I'm making.
I like it.
Actually, I like what you're doing.
in the background, you're continuing to try and reanimate the human. I
Yeah.
like that.
You keep
Okay.
doing what you're doing. What time did
With
you
your
get
Borkish
here at the
magic.
crime scene, where you found the dead human and all the dead creatures?
Oh, about 30 Borkin minutes ago.
When did you hear about it?
Oh, when I hear?
Yes, that there'd been an incident in the forest.
Well,
on
I mean, the
fire.
rumors started kicking up about a week
A
ago.
week ago. How far away did you come from?
I guess it took me, a couple days to get over here.
Okay.
Now, did you walk or did you bork?
I borked.
What does that mean? You can't keep using the same catch-all word for everything.
Why
It
not?
can't be both a noun, a verb, an adjective,
It can be-
an
He
bounced-
adverb,
he bounced
a
slowly through the
conjunction, an
forest.
interjection, an article, a participle, a gerund, and a
Bork can be any Borkin thing that Borkin wants to. That's
What's
the
a
nature of
gerund?
Bork.
and buffalo, 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 buffalo. Damn it! I just proved your point.
What's a gerund?
A gerund is the noun form of a verb.
I think he's the bad
For example,
guy from
in this-
Labyrinth.
It's the Bork form of a Bork.
Okay, I got it now.
I will strangle you with your own pants.
He will stick his foot so far up your bork you won't even know what happened.
You're
You'll
not-
be able to taste your own bork.
You think you're helping me? You really are just making me madder and madder. All right.
Borker and Borker.
That was great with the fan right there.
Stretchy arm over to the fan. Look, man, no, we can't help it. We're just naturally cute and wacky.
I understand that. Who was the human?
The human?
Yes.
Soon he will be my
I was
slave.
able wallet.
No, he's clearly a young nobleman.
You didn't check for... I checked for any sort of artifact or articles on the...
Yeah, you do. You find evidence to support the notion that this guy was a young nobleman. Apparently was traveling through the woods, and per a letter that you were able to find on his person, it appears that he was on his way to, what do I want to say, to go...
Ride a motorboat.
No, he was on his way to go and reunite with his fiance.
Oh, that's sad. I can help him. Okay,
He
no
probably
problem.
wanted to catch a bork.
No, I'm gonna help him now. Now I
Because
have a
bork
goal.
juice makes a love potion.
Are you going to reanimate him so he can go see his beloved?
Bork, yeah.
That's excellent. Get on that.
Okay.
Yeah, you can continue to work your Borkish magic.
Yes. And he's gonna bork clothes on, because why not?
I mean, you can eventually somewhat raise a bit of a desiccated zombie-ish version of this Bork.
Yes.
Or of this Humi, excuse me.
Hear me.
Yeah.
So what do you think? Should we make him take us to his leader?
Oh, I mean, do you think his brain will be... I mean, if we're raised... I mean, you know more about zombies than I do. Since you are one.
Depends on how
I'm the
long-
vilest of borks. I know all about zombies.
I mean, this body is... Come on, this is 2 weeks old. This has been eaten by animals. It's burned.
It is
it's
pretty fresh.
charred. I doubt the bone structure is much to work with.
No, don't worry. I got this.
Yeah, then she can...
Also, do you trust her as a doctor? Because I don't.
No, not even remotely.
I can make things move that were already dead. What's not to trust?
That's just... What is... But that's just anniversary.
What?
Nothing.
What? I don't understand your crazy talk.
I don't understand any of your talk.
You're barking nothing.
So you want to investigate the Humi, is that what I'm understanding?
Yes, investigate the human.
Okay.
Because there's some combination of who he is, where he was going, why he was going there, and the fact that he's dead now, and he killed all these borks. And
He didn't kill any of the borks. I checked.
Really?
No, the borks killed him as soon as he invaded their territory.
As soon as he invaded the territory.
I mean, he was probably bork hunting, otherwise he wouldn't have been here.
How can we determine?
It's also a level of aggression that is not common to Borks, let's be honest.
So something set the borks off and they killed this guy.
Looks that way. Or, I mean, they were killed with weapons, which only the knights have. So the knights clearly took this guy down.
Mm-hmm. Bork knights.
Maybe they
And
had
Colum Bork has already given you some ideas as to where the individual knights are currently located.
And where would that be?
Again, just for you. Blinky, the creepiest of Borks, hasn't been seen since the fire.
Right.
Rumors are that Blinky tried to find a way to take Blinky's own life.
Lucky bastard.
Betty, the biggest borking Bork who ever borked, is currently seeing a borkotherapist and is accessible. She tends to spend most of her downtime rocking softly and, just kind of rolling because she's a Bork.
Right.
And she's big.
Yeah. Blake, the borkiest of Borks, joined a Borkastery, the Damsels of Borkington, took a vow of Borkracy. Moving on. Bowie, the broodiest of Borks, currently addicted to hard Borkberry cider and is most commonly found on the highways and Borkways of the lands.
So between the highways and the monastery, I'm not saying your fucking bullshit word. See? I can say it now because I'm the player. Which one of these guys is the closest?
What?
Which one of these potential suspects is closest?
The easiest one to get to right now would be Bowie.
Okay, can we take my
Because you just got to go down the highway for a while and then you would probably find him.
Anybody want to hitch a ride on my Humi?
Nobody wants to do that.
I think that is an excellent idea.
I would like to
The
hitch a
Humi
ride on my
does
Humi.
start kind of creaking its way up in a very disgusting, vile way, I would say. Your capybara is a little bit disappointed that will no longer be your preferred
Humi
mode of
picks him up.
transportation. Okay.
Pets him.
Do we have any weapons?
No.
We have the
Does the
Humi.
human have any weapons or tools?
A dagger.
Okay, let's make spears.
The problem is the
I
dagger is
think a
bigger than us.
hashtag system shock is in order to help further the bork.
Oh, I like that. Let's do that right now.
Oh no.
Thanks, chat.
Go chat.
Oh, thanks.
Thanks, chat.
Thank you, chat.
System shocks. We'll use that up right now. For Crash. Oh, that's going to be easy. You're just right in the middle. All the way Avatar.
Oh, that's too barking bad.
Yeah, well, I just died inside.
Jenica, I'm sorry. Actually, you stay where you are. You're still all the way Avatar.
Oh, good.
And actually, all the way Avatar as well. I rolled 3 6s.
That's awful.
Yeah.
So you chose to put us.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And then let's also, the effects of being in this land of borks has been very discombobulating to you. His nostrils flared.
Keep it coming more.
And as a result, I think it is appropriate that a meta meltdown goes off, and you find yourself, your brain slightly shifting, and your ability to, you know what, the characters, you're not in combat, it's not going to matter much, so you can just keep the sheet. And actually, I've got, tell you what, I've got a second sheet here with all of the borken borks, so you can just pass those out to whoever gets them. So let's do the meta meltdown, and who gets to see who is going to be.
But we're not in combat or anything, right?
Correct.
Sweet.
So you'll just be different borks for a little while. And each that is going to go that way. So, sorry, I'm just really happy about this. Crash, you will currently be inhabiting Bjorn Dork,
Okay.
the Bjorkest of Borks. Which
Sure.
means that Teddy, you are now going to be Dr. Victor Borkenstein, the vilest of Borks. Which means that Jenica, you are now Bergie, the Duchess of Bork. And Aquamarine, this of course leaves you with Borky Bob Borkton, the Bubba-ist of Borks.
That's me now.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna enjoy talking like this for a while.
I do not want to ride on that.
Well, you shouldn't. It's disgusting.
I would like to ride in the front so I do not have to smell it.
That can be arranged.
Great.
Come on, let's stay on task, everyone.
So you get yourselves all set up between the capybara and the zombie Humi. You are able to start out on an adventure.
Follow me.
Working your way down the highways and borkways until, sure enough, after a couple hours of travel, you see a lone bork sitting on the side of the road, surrounded by what seem to be fermented bork berries, and just all sorts of it's actually kind of sad. It's sad and cute at once. They're like bork-sized little bottles of something.
Hello, good sir. I just changed to a different accent.
I was doing that too.
Hello.
Bork off!
That was inappropriate.
Okay.
Bork off!
You bork off.
Bork off.
You bork off.
Bork you.
You do not know
you?
Bork.
You do not know to whom you are addressing.
Where the hell are you? Why are you invisible, Bork?
Undead Humi! Bork stomp him!
So your Humi,
Oh, he doesn't respond to voice commands.
you can try to make him stomp on him if you want. So the Humi, the zombie, lifts his foot up and smashes it down onto this Bork, who immediately, it's like a water balloon where it kind of like, whoop, the two sides go up like this, but it doesn't explode. And then as the Humi takes his foot back off it, and then...
Bork! Borking! I got a barking, remember? How doesn't barking work?
What Bork was that for? Where the Bork are you? Why are you Borky invisible Bork?
We are
Invisible.
Imborkable. Oh, there you. Wait. You the one talking?
Hello?
Have you heard these voices?
No?
Sir, what happened to you? You're a disgrace.
What's your name, Bork?
What's my borken name? My borken name is Borken
Oh, there's no reason to swear.
Bowie.
Rudius.
The one-time broodiest bork.
You still appear quite broody,
No, now I'm deborked.
which is sort of like broody, but with less bangs.
Yeah.
What's a bork to you?
Hello.
So, did you by chance Bjork a whole village?
Who borkin told you that? Who borkin told you that? Who borked?
Oh, everybody.
Who borked?
Everybody Bjork's, Bowie. Everybody Bjork.
It was Blake. Blake. It was Blake who borked, right?
Oh, Blake's been borking his bork.
Betty and Blinky, they all borked. I knew they'd bork and bork.
I would take that as confirmation that he borked the entire village. Why did you?
I didn't bork anything.
Well, you just said you did.
Borked it all.
It wasn't borking me.
Who was borking you?
It's like someone was in bork inside me.
Bork inside you?
How?
It's like someone was borking making me do it.
Oh.
That makes
I was just like,
it all.
They have a name for that.
it was awful.
Can you describe how awful?
I have a feeling it probably borked in the bork.
Well,
It did bork in the bork. How'd you bork and know?
how did it bark like?
It was like I was there, but I couldn't bork and do anything. It was like some borkin bork was controlling every borkin thing I borkin borked.
So you
I mean, I could sort of see through my own borkin eyes, and then I couldn't do anything. And then Blinky and Bork and Blake and
But you remember all of it,
the
right?
Borkin juice. Oh my Borkin God, the Borkin juice.
Seriously traumatized.
This is a very sad story.
Everyone was borking, but they wouldn't bork. They wouldn't bork. They were borking everywhere, but they wouldn't bork, and nothing would stop the borking. And then someone said, well, we should just bork and make them bork. It just takes a little bork. One little bork, and they're all borked.
Traumatized.
So then you did it, didn't you? You borked them. You borked them all.
We borked them all. Every borking one.
This is very upsetting.
But then we knew that someone would bork and find out.
Bork is up.
Sir, you said you did not see. You could not.
So then someone said we should just set that bork on fire.
Someone?
Wasn't borking me.
But was it the entity borking you?
Well, who the bork was it, man?
I don't know. Who the bork are you all anyway?
Well, we're the borks that are gonna bork you to justice.
I'm Bergie,
I didn't bork and
the
do
Duchess
anything.
of Bork.
Didn't you?
It wasn't me.
Really? I bet there's no nightshade in your medicine pouch there. Used it all in your tea, didn't you?
Bork, no. I found this pouch.
Oh, you're not one of the knights?
No.
So you,
Know that you are.
No, I'm not. I've been drinking. I don't know who you are or what I borkin said.
is he carrying a weapon?
No.
But our friend is.
I think the poor chap is just sad.
And the pouch on his hip does say Bowie on it, the broodiest bork.
real sad.
You are Bowie.
I don't want to be Bowie anymore.
It's okay.
When did you start being
okay.
Bowie again? You said you were not you, but you could see out of you. When were you then you again? How long ago has it been since you have been
Everyone was borked.
you? Yes, how long ago was that?
Borkin, no.
Make a guess.
I went into Borkdom. I found every Borkin bottle of Borkin berry juice I could find and started drinking it down. I've had more Borkin cider than Borkin anyone. Leave me the Bork alone.
Should we take him into custody? Or should we just leave this poor sap to himself?
He's a Bork knight. He could just kill us if he wanted to.
I don't think he wants to do anything.
I'm saying we don't have much we can do to him.
We have the disgusting thing.
Yes, what would you like done with it?
Should we ask him to come with us?
We could make him come
You
with
want
us.
a drunken sot to come with us?
He was there. He knows what happened.
Not Borkin going anywhere.
He's not.
What if you could help?
Nothing can help. They're all borked.
Did the other knights have the
that's just-
same problem that you did?
What problem?
Where they didn't like they weren't in control of their own Borks?
Did they do things that were unborkish?
We all did things that were unborkish.
No, but things that no Bork would do.
No Bork would do any of that.
Huh.
We didn't bork and talk about it afterward.
But it was the same experience, right? Like Betty did things that Betty wouldn't bork. And Blake borked things he would never bork. And you borked everyone, didn't you? You borked them all.
Did you do the most Borkin?
Well,
Did
they
you?
were just lying there helpless. You just borked them.
I couldn't stop the borking! I couldn't stop the
It's over.
borking!
It's over now. It's over. We need help.
There is no borkin help.
This is very depressing. I say we move on. I do not like to be depressed.
We may have an answer for you. We'll be back. Or we won't.
Whatever. We're all just borked in the end.
That's gross, depending on how you change that word around.
I figured out how to make the zombie into a Bork killer.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Make him use his own dagger to cut his wrist off and then sharpen his arm bones.
That's pretty smart.
Eh?
That is
No, that's pretty vile.
That's very
Super
vile.
vile. That's really vile.
Right?
It's very vile.
Really vile.
And then it's like he's got his own built-in punch dagger.
That's so gross.
Right?
Really wrong.
Well, let's leave this sad sack of a Bork.
Indeed, as I have said.
Dad,
All
you're
right.
all insane right now. So you are all as crazy can be.
I feel like we should help him. He's just so sad.
But you do have the opportunity to go investigate any of the others if you want.
I think we're gonna get the same story.
But it'll be like a puzzle pieces.
Maybe
Don't
with
give me
less inebriation.
It'll
But
give
yeah,
me
whatever you
time to
want.
complete my stabby fist man thing.
All right,
Yeah.
let's go find another Bork.
Come, zombie.
Who's the next nearest Bork?
Probably the simplest Bork to find would be Blake. The borkiest Bork.
He's the one that joined a monastery.
joined a Borkastery because Borkastery doesn't move, so...
We don't know that.
relatively easy
That's
to
not a
find.
thing. So if it was like a monastery,
You can only hear it from one channel because it's a monastery.
right?
On your way to the Borkastery, you come...
Work up.
Huh?
Nothing.
Yeah, you work up. Actually, let's you switch back to your original Borks.
Oh, fake Bork.
Well, this is hardly better.
I love his new
I mean,
fist.
tell anybody in the wood before we go.
Well, let's move on.
Don't tell me till we bork ourselves, but
Come on. Let's
I
go.
love
Whatever
you
the
just
matter
sling
is.
bladed that. That was good. Sling bork.
So now one of his fists is not a fist, it's
that's
just a
not how the bork
protruding radius, and it goes,
Oh, no!
but not toward a bork that is in our party, just a bad bork, if we need to.
You should probably keep that sheathed since you have a.
Okay, some of the dead bork corpses I make a little sheath out of.
There you go.
You keep
should
that away
sue.
from me.
You could saw his leftover hand into his own young.
Violence is completely.
No, the leftover hand is still a fist.
Ah, so you can pinch with that.
Yes.
Put it on the end of a long stick,
No,
then you have a
stop.
punchy land.
It's a
But that's
vile
the
vile
charm.
bork. So on your way to go investigate and find out and talk to Blake, the borkiest of the borks, you come across a bork who is just sitting by himself, looking kind of sullen.
Hello?
They all look sullen.
They do. This one also looks
Another
sullen.
sullen. This one's just not drinking. Is that how we can tell it's a different pork?
No, this one is completely hairless.
That is
Yeah,
very...
that's actually instead of it looking sullen, bald probably
Yeah.
would have been.
Bald,
Since
yeah.
we're fur-covered creatures.
Yeah, this one's bald.
What happened, man? That looks crazy.
But he looks sullen in addition to being completely hairless.
Well, wouldn't you be?
Yes!
I would be super solid if I was completely hairless.
Hello? Hello?
Do you easily get
I'm not
sunburned?
talking to that thing.
And it's
I
wrapped
will.
up in several, sweaters because it's a little cold. You can see there's no hair on this bork.
Did you do that to yourself?
Why?
No?
What happened that all your hair done falled out?
Okay, so I'm going to preface this by saying that this is a Patreon backer thing. Because otherwise you're going to blame me for this.
I already blame you for this.
Okay. You can blame Arislyn for this.
Okay.
This bork
can be
introduces
both of you.
himself as Ubernus, the baldest of borks. Was once a respected member of borkdom, but was afflicted with a curse that made him lose all of his hair for making too many puns within earshot of a wicked sorceress.
He got what he deserved.
Yeah, absolutely. That's some cosmic justice there. You barked yourself good, bark hole.
I'm sorry about the ball.
He survived the borkicide because he was out shopping for his sweater.
Oh, that's good.
But he arrived in time to witness the end.
Ooh, tell us what happened.
Oh, that must have been barking freaky.
Tell us every detail.
And he's willing to help you out if you can get the curse removed.
I could totally do that.
Yes, we can do that. We'll remove it as soon as you tell us.
I could borking do that. No borking problem.
Oh yes. What must we do? like how
The
she
way
said
to
it,
remove the
interesting.
curse would be to defeat the sorceress.
Oh yeah, we will go do that now. Tell us.
Yeah, where can we bark this sorceress?
It wasn't borked yesterday.
Oh, we have to do
You'll
it
be
fast.
borked
was.
today if you don't tell us.
Borked today, borked tomorrow. It's all one bork and same thing.
Give me something sharp.
No, no.
No.
Point,
No,
at,
no,
point
they-
at the zombie.
Look, look,
It's
look.
the murder fish.
See the Humi that I made? We could totally kill the sorceress with this, but you, need to tell us what to do after we kill her.
Yes.
What happened so that we can know what to do?
Are you bork worthy?
Yes.
We're the
That
most
doesn't mean nothing,
bork-worthy.
You're not gonna bork me?
No.
Oh no, we're gonna bork the hell out of you
we're
if you
gonna-
don't tell us what we want to know.
But if you
Oh, yes.
tell us, it'd be totally fine.
But if I tell you, you'll bork me?
Oh, for sure.
Absolutely.
So is Borkish a tonal language and the different pitch informs the word?
No, Chris thought he got it.
Okay.
It's like the Smurfs. Everything's Smurf and Smurf.
I was aware.
Not everything.
Go back and watch it. They Smurf a lot. What was I gonna say?
I did when I made the borks.
What?
I did go back and watch it when I made the borks.
Okay. What was I say? Oh, it tells you, basically corroborates, but in more detail, what you had heard from Bowie, the Broodius Bork. that the Borks seemed out of their minds, and they were just irrationally violent towards the other Borks. They first just pummeled to death this Hume, and that was pretty impressive.
Like some Bork?
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
super
the Knights of
messed
Borkdom took that Bork down in took that guy down in like a round. It was
He was
really
super
impressive.
messed up.
Oh, holy bark balls.
But by the time it was over, they had also moved on to flagrant Borkicide. They had, they had for some reason they put together this potion, this poisoned vat of Bork juice, Borkleberry juice, and then while watching all of these Borks start to slowly die from the effects of the poison, they then seemed determined to expedite the situation
And juiced them.
and basically.
That is very important. That is more vile than any
Just
kind of vileness
pincered
should
through
be.
all of them, popping them left and right.
Oh no!
And then ended up torching the whole place.
Cover your ears,
As
Duchess.
near as he could figure, they were looking for the Elder Bork, who had the Bork Stone in his possession. And they were trying to, from what they said, they were trying to expedite the search by burning down the forest. But that also would have the side effect of clearing out a lot of the bodies.
Right. Yeah.
So there would have been more for me to work with if they hadn't burned everything down.
I mean, well, no, I can't. Don't know that.
Jerks.
Yeah. The nerve. Poor Borks.
Yeah, that's what he tells you.
That's awful.
I'm so sorry. So now we have to kill the sorceress for you. I'm vile, but I'm honest.
People say that about me.
So what do we do? Do we go and Bork the Borks that did this, or do we go find out why?
But the Borks who did this didn't really do it.
Who did?
The people inside of them.
So that's what we've established. Yeah?
But that's what this drunk dude said.
Well,
The
perhaps
drunk
we should...
dude told us there's people inside him.
Just like he
He
wasn't
said it
himself.
wasn't himself, is what he said.
That's
Right.
what I extrapolated.
Yeah.
What did you say?
Extrapolated.
What?
Borked.
Exporculated.
Ah. Now I Bork you.
Extracaborked. How do you conjugate? Bork's a
You
hard
don't.
language. It's a hard language to learn.
it's not.
It really is.
No.
Borko, Borkos, Borkat, Borkamus, Borkatis, Borkant.
Well
Ta-da. And no
Maybe.
more than twice a sentence. It's
So let's go get the sorceress. Talking,
played.
let's go.
He tells you the sorceress lives in a nearby cave.
And what are we supposed to do with the sorceress?
Kill her.
Adjective would you use to
To
describe
get the
this
hair
cave?
back on this
Would it
fella?
be
Yeah.
I don't care about him.
Borking?
I know, but we
It
told
was a
you.
Borking cave.
A Borking cave.
Yeah, but we lied, right?
No,
Why not?
because my Hume says we have to go be honest.
Your Hume is 2 weeks dead. Easy. Why do I sound like Rosie right now? Bork. Borky Bob.
My Hume's name is Harold.
Like that story.
He told me.
Okay, so go on to that sorceress then.
Okay.
Bye.
I think someone's a few Borks shy of
Yeah.
a Bork flay.
You're gonna go kill the sorceress.
Borky is all of you. Let's go.
Will you
Lead the
come
way.
with me?
So I think. So do I understand correctly
Borky,
that
yes!
Bergie and Victor are going to go after?
Borkter.
Well, Victor's the only one
Right.
with the ability to do violence.
Yeah.
With the murder Hume.
And we don't do
Harold.
that.
Harold, the murder
We're
Hume.
friggin' Borks.
Well, your pilots are a little more.
Quite true.
Yeah.
But I'm the only one who's even remotely pilot right now.
This is true.
And I'm not in the mood to kill nobody.
I
And the
said-
fact that they are is gross.
Well, I want to go see what it's all about,
That's fair.
right? Like he wanted us to.
Okay.
I'm sitting on a well-of wage
not-
I don't thoroughly understand.
So you work your way to the Borken cave,
Yes.
And sure enough, outside you see a stereotypical vat over a pot being steered.
Hey, lady.
There's a vat over a pot.
Lady, you see this
Over a
crazy
fire.
Jimmy?
Yeah, it's a vat over a pot over a fire.
Over a
Hold
pot.
on.
It's a double burner. What? She's
Excuse me?
making something with chocolate. It's a real thing.
She's tempering her potion.
Yes, it's a real thing.
Okay,
I didn't make a mistake. That's
my
how it
plan
works.
is to
It's a
intimidate
vat
her with
over a
the
pot
human.
over a fire. Describe something in real life.
I feel like we
It's a
should
double
talk
boiler.
to her first.
I don't want to kill her
For the
yet.
boys of the hottest borking band in the Metaverse. A hashtag hack attack to be used by the members of Just For You.
Oh boy.
Bork away or save it for next borking week.
Thank you, Cat.
Thank you, John.
Another hit. We can probably bork that.
Borkle gum parachute flex dab bork.
Nice.
Done. Yeah, next week. That's happening.
Oh, next week it's happening?
Yeah, we gotta write it.
Cool.
Yeah. Can't
Yes.
just say bork for every other word. That doesn't make any sense.
No, that doesn't make any sense. Saying bork every other word would be impossible.
Yeah, so she is
incomprehensible.
stirring this
The
potion.
narrative would go off the rails.
She's stirring this potion.
Lady, look at this
Just
thing.
hold on a second. Hello. Hi. Are you a sorceress?
Fix it.
Yes, are you... Oh! Are you a bork?
Yes, I'm the vilest bork, and this human's gonna kill you if you don't fix the ball bork.
Excellent work with zombification.
Thank you.
I'm quite impressed.
Unbald the bork.
Excuse me?
Make the bald bork unbald.
The bald bork? Oh, the one with the puns.
I make him not do puns anymore. Please unbald him.
Are you threatening me?
No, I said.
I don't understand what she's borking either.
I said please.
That's all I heard, man.
Perhaps
Give me a borking check.
I beat it by 5.
I don't know why that one got me. The punny one. I do remember there was a pun-filled bork. It's quite annoying, although clever, I will admit. You're saying that I should give the bork back his fur.
Yes. Is that natural? Wouldn't you agree?
I don't even know.
She's annoyed. Give him back hair. She'll be not annoyed.
I feel compelled to listen to you.
Excellent. We'll be on our way then. Unbald.
And that's all she does. She just says, sure. And listens to you, and when you next find the baldest bork, he's begun to regrow his borky fur.
Pledge fulfilled. Let's go.
It was amazingly anticlimactic,
Sorry.
but it worked.
How did the sorceress understand anything she said?
Just felt like it.
Where do we go now?
Probably back
Where
to the
do
bork.
we go now?
Bergie,
Yes.
where do we go?
Where are we going right now? Blake the Bork? Yes.
Wasn't
I mean, are we pretty much gonna find out exactly what we borked back from the other 2 borks we borked?
Borkably.
Well, weren't we going to get something from Baldo Bjork if we got his hair on Bjork?
No, Baldo was told us other things already.
Oh.
Could you translate that for me, man? I have no idea what she said. Knew it! I knew it wasn't just me. None of you borks can understand it.
No, you definitely got the the information from.
We've got the
Blake,
gist
or
of it.
from-
So we borked
These
the side
guys
quest
were not in
that we
control of
didn't
their own
do.
actions.
We needed to do it. We said we would do it.
All right, let's go bork the other Bjork and York Bjorkers.
I'm honest, even if I'm vile.
You're not 100% honest.
I am too.
Nope.
Bork you.
No, hear me out.
What?
No bork will harm another bork.
I didn't.
I tried.
Or even threaten to harm another bork.
I said please.
Or I'll have my Humie kill you.
I said please.
What I'm saying is you wouldn't have even thought that way if you didn't have a person inside of you doing it.
I'm the vilest bork.
Right.
She's lucky I said please.
But the vilest bork is still adorable.
I'm very adorable.
I agree.
So I said, please.
So you really don't understand me.
No.
Cool. Then I'm done talking to you.
Great.
Can't fix stupid.
Indeed.
Huey, Dewey, and Louie.
No.
That's that. Right? Can you hear it?
I really just enjoyed that. Like, that's, yeah.
The voice. People who do the voice. Right. That's what the voice is.
Chat's decided your next shirt should be, I said please.
Okay, well, I am
Totally
at
not
an
a
impasse.
psychopath.
This is for you
said
guys to figure out now.
What?
Well, I mean, stopping and kind of, thinking it through for a moment.
Well, I tried.
What have you determined? What were you here to determine? And just kind of think it through that way. I tell you what, I will burn.
You will burn for this.
I tell you what, I will burn the 1 meta point that is there, and I will even give you each one extra, so you can each hop one over from where you are. So you have a little bit of pilot in you.
Now I understand what you're talking about.
All right.
And now you at least have the capacity to have some conversation outside of Avatar Brain as to what is going on.
I don't know if it was a Bork problem or not.
What, huh?
I said, I don't know if it was a Bork problem or not.
It doesn't sound like it.
I meant the problem I was having.
I don't understand.
There's been a lot happening. Can
Nope,
we have like a
it
little
wasn't a Bork
recap of
Yeah,
like
so-
where we are and what is happening exactly, please?
So where you are right now on the slider, you could be pilot or avatar. You don't have to be one or the other. And as far as where you're trying to figure out what to do next, the main reason that you would come into this world was to investigate evidence of some metapilots who had come out this way from Jebediah, right? Mm-hmm. That was the whole point to what you were doing here. So in the time that you've been here, what, if anything, have you sussed out? Or you could all keep checking your phones. That's cool too.
The metapilots were knights. That's
We got, yeah. The
clearly.
knights were the metapilots. They all were controlled by somebody else, and that's why they did unborky things.
And so what have they done here? What's been the impact? Thinking through all that stuff.
They murdered everybody and set the
and
forest
then
on
went
fire.
off into separate hiding.
And then they
To
left the
wallow
borks.
in their self-pity.
It may have just been an experiment. Come in here and see if they could make a type of creature that would not harm its own kind, would not even think of harming its own kind, and
That's what these things are.
run, basically
for
an
that
experiment, a test run. Can you get people who won't kill their own to kill their own?
They thought it was a game.
They were trolls. Yeah, they were trolls. If it's the 13-year-old boys we were talking about.
And it doesn't have to be. Yeah, I'll kind of pseudo go in both as GM and Thomas there, in the sense that, yeah, I think you're onto something. It doesn't have to be necessarily even
If we were
quote-unquote
onto
13-year-old
something, we
boys,
wouldn't
but
be acting like them.
Like the Borks?
No, like the Borks who did this.
if they what?
If we were really onto something, we wouldn't be acting like the Borks who did this.
Because I threatened the lady.
You sharpened a guy's arm bone.
That was me.
Whatever. It was one of you.
It was awesome. You got to be able to defend yourself, Crash.
Hey, I'm all about defending myself, but these things don't hurt things.
Sharp things make us pop.
Like, we're finally in something that's not there to kill things, and we're already trying to kill things, and it's...
I
And
didn't.
it doesn't mean that others aren't going to try to kill them.
Right,
We
they
defend-
already did. We're here to fix it, and I don't think we're going to fix it by killing more things.
You got to be prepared for the worst.
He's using a master's tools argument, which I totally understand. You can't dismantle the master's house with the master's tools.
Yes, you can.
You're not supposed to.
That's
Bed.
completely different saying that. You're not supposed to dismantle the master's house with the master's tools. Who says you're not supposed to? Is it the master? It's
No,
the master, isn't
it's
it?
not the master. It just doesn't justify what you're doing, is what the point is.
What I'm doing is making sure we have the option to strike back
Oh,
with
I
lethal
understand
force
that, too.
against enemies who have already shown they can take over Borks and make them deadly.
I'm not hurting any Borks.
They're too cute to hurt. I am just saying that I understand your point of view and Crash's point of view.
Well, my point of view is we shouldn't be acting like sick people.
Shall I dull up the blade that was created by Nick and make it impossible?
Maybe don't walk around with a dead guy.
But he's funny.
He's not funny. He's like 50 feet tall to us. He's a giant dead guy, and I don't think it's funny. We move faster without him.
All right, I'll leave the Hume.
I mean, I think it's great that we're all in our little Bork characters, but when they're doing bad things in this place, has already had enough bad things happen to it.
Okay, Crash. I'm sorry. I will leave the Hume.
The zombified Hume
I let him just kind of
crumples back down to the ground. But
His
as you
parents
did that
don't even know where he is.
before you do that as he goes down, you did dull it on the way down.
And I took the little note so that we can mail it to his fiance so that she knows that he's
just a
dead or
boy.
something.
He was trying to find his wife.
Fiance. Soon to be wife. But we're going to tell her that he's dead so that
Yeah, I
she
guess
can
that
start
makes it better. And all I was saying was no Bork would ever think of doing that.
No, I'm saying that we should
We
tell
don't
her.
make these things better by being here in them.
I'm saying we should tell her so she can have closure.
Oh, you're right. And how do we get out of here? How do we fulfill this mission?
I don't know. I guess we find the other pilots.
Yes.
And probably have to kill them.
And what? Yes. And if it comes to that, would you rather be prepared to do that, or would you rather have these bodies?
I'm
get
prepared
killed?
to do it. I just don't think it's. I think it's sick that we're acting like that.
We don't know that we have to kill them. We don't know anything about them. We know that they think it's not real. So perhaps we could help them with that. We can't really assess if we know that we're going to have to hurt them because they don't know what they're doing.
I don't know. It's just other avatars. I felt like we made them better, and these ones we don't. They were good before. Now they're just like us.
Well, let's help them.
Okay.
What? Recruit? Their recruits?
Yeah, they're so displaced and sad.
They've already killed.
Are we talking about the Borks or are we talking about the other pilots?
We're talking about the other pilots. I think if what you think, I'm hearing what you're hearing. You want to redeem the other pilots, try to recruit them, try to show them that it is real and there's a better way.
It worked for us.
Yes, that's what I've learned the most.
We convinced you.
Granted, you were already dead.
A couple times.
Yeah, but he was also the king of a nation, which is pretty exciting. And we.
Yes, but look at me now. Whee!
I'm just saying, we could be persuasive.
You're beautiful. Yes, we can be very persuasive.
You can't swing through trees by your own tail now.
Then was I complaining about the swinging through trees by my tail?
Good point, Nick. I do apologize.
All right, so...
Hi, by the way, everyone. I do apologize for lurking. I never like to interrupt, though.
Thanks, Thomas.
Have you been able to determine anything in this world?
Yeah, the pilots were in the Knights.
Knights of Borkdom.
But they're not anymore.
And now the Knights of Borkdom need therapy.
Blakey, Betty, Blake, and Bowie?
Yeah.
Those are the ones.
Yeah.
Thomas,
Yes.
do you have any way of tracing where an avatar came from if we know where, which host it had been in?
Please re-explain. Where an avatar came from?
No, do you a pilot? If we know that there's an avatar, if we know that
Like
an
a link.
avatar has been visited, is there a link we can follow back? Some way to figure out where they are, where they came from?
Like an
Because
IP
they
address.
get uploaded
Exactly.
and downloaded from a place. And if we know who the avatars are, then...
In theory, by... Pardon me. Calculating. In theory, by gathering enough data points consisting of avatars in which an individual has found themselves placed, it should be theoretically possible to triangulate some form of, let's say, address based on the signatures resulting from those transferences.
Okay, if that's the case, then we need to be interviewing each one of the knights.
so that we can know more about them.
Do they get progressively more depressing, though?
Remember, Bowie said specifically he was like he wasn't in his own mind, which suggests that he was in his own mind watching while the pilot was there. If you can tell us anything about the pilot's personality traits or idiosyncrasies.
Do we have to go talk to the drunk one again?
We need to get them all together in the same room.
We take the formerly hairless one over there. It shows that we can already help them.
Okay, because they would have known that he was hairless.
Yes, they would
Because Borks know everything about each other.
That's proof then that...
that we can help.
Yes, and we won't threaten to kill anyone.
Promise.
And no zombies.
No.
I
that's
apologize
Sorry, no
to
dead
interject, but
zombies of human kids that were on their way to their fiancés who ran upon a fort village and got
I apologize for interrupting. Am I to understand that a zombie was present?
Just a little bit.
Interesting. Not typical for the land of Borks, but good to know for future reference.
Okay.
We did something new because metapilots.
Do you like the
We
plan?
do seem to have a long-standing history of having an impact, for better or for worse, in whatever worlds we find ourselves.
I'm definitely beginning to see the worst.
Good.
I like the plan. I want to help them.
Okay.
I do too, so we need to get them all in the same room. We have no way of corralling them physically.
Getting who in the same what?
All of the knights, we need them in the same place.
I got you. I see what you're saying.
They bounce, right?
They do. But so your ultimate goal is to eventually track down as many of them as you can and speak to them?
There's only 4 of them.
That's what I'm saying,
Right.
but still, we don't have a full location for all of them. Skipping ahead a little bit, you are able to head out to the monastery, and you do speak to Blake, who is there, the borkiest of the Borks.
He is so borky.
He is very borky.
But I don't think he knows I exist.
And Blake is similarly but differently scarred from your interactions with Bowie. As opposed to going into this kind of self-destructive behavior that Bowie has been exhibiting,
He hasn't combed his hair in weeks.
Blake seems to be more looking for some form of forgiveness. And Blake's presence at the Borkastery seems highly correlated to this. Clearly, guilt is just been crushing Blake.
Go to it, Jenica.
I don't have any missed points.
Can I try to help him?
Not
I
like
tried-
that, you can't.
I know.
Jenica could. There's no way your avatar can.
So I need meta points to go over.
You can do stuff as Jenica from where you are.
But I would need to not use this voice.
You are not full avatar. You don't have to be that character right now.
Okay, so I don't need to even use the voice. Okay. So I would do 2.
I mean, you can. That's the beauty of being anywhere in the middle. It's only when you're one end or the other that you're one or the other.
Since I'm an experimental musician, can I bard it up to increase her competence?
Absolutely.
All right.
Okay, great. So it says that I'm supposed to be rolling 2d12s plus 2.
Yes.
Okay.
I Bjorked it by 2.
Nice.
Okay. So I would like to
Well,
help him
Bjork.
with some psychology
Yeah,
and
sounds like a good thing to roll.
psychiatry.
Yeah.
Okay. And I think that's a 1. Yeah, it is. I beat it all, like, without help by 5.
You also still have a Patreon buff that you can use.
Awesome. But I beat it by 5, and I don't know what his help does.
Your buff was doing it by, because I gave you guys my other
Beat it by 2.
copies, but by another 2. So you can beat it by 7.
Or if I beat it by the 10, then it would be like beating
By
it by
17.
17.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you want to do that,
I will beat it by 17 because I
There you
really
go.
want to help this pork.
so you do. So Jenica, you sit down and you start talking to Blake. And as you're having this therapeutic conversation with Blake,
Bork to Bork.
and there's a lot of borking going on because unfortunately, that's just how they're going to speak. But Nick, in the form of Bjorn, begins to Bjork it up. And the soothing experimental rhythms that Bjorn is expressing. Actually was watching a lot of Bjork stuff the last couple of days just to remember what her style is like. It's really unique. Anyway, so these soothing experimental rhythms seem to have an effect on Blake, and Blake seems to be visibly relaxing as you're having this conversation. And over the course of the conversation, Blake is slowly kind of, I mean, it's one therapy session.
Right, it's not going to
So
cure
it's not
everything.
going to cure everything.
But it's not going to take like a Freudian level of time.
No. I mean, like
But like most one-time therapy sessions, it'll cure something.
yeah, like it definitely feels like there has been some cathartic moments. You guys talk
Maybe
for
that's
hours.
something he has.
You talk for hours. I mean, and this is the most talking that Blake has.
2 hours, so
has
100 minutes.
This is the most that Blake has borked in, days.
In fact, he won't stop borking during your entire conversation. He just keeps borking and borking.
He is the borkiest of borks. But by the time it's all said and done, you do feel like you've had a couple of little semi-breakthroughs, and he's beginning to bork-throughs, and he's beginning to kind of, pull himself back together, bork together.
I feel like
little
we've made
bit.
a lot of good progress today. There's some other things that you can do to continue on the progress. Some good thoughts that you need to be thinking. When you feel those bad thoughts cropping up, you can recognize that they're there and then tell yourself 3 good things to kind of cancel out the bad things. Also, there's some in limited quantities.
Do anything you can to make those bad thoughts feel fat and unattractive.
There's also limited quantities of these certain berries and herbs that I'll write down for you and give you a prescription for, but you can't take too many, and you have to talk to your Borkter later.
Doc, can I get one of those prescriptions?
Why?
And a Pothabork?
Yeah. So here's
That's
the
what Bowie
Borky.
was.
Here's
Yeah,
your
that's true.
prescription, and please
Bork you.
continue seeing.
Bork you very much.
You're welcome. Please continue seeing a helper of a borker of some kind to help bork you further.
I do. I feel a little more borked right now.
That's good. I'm glad we could help.
Bork.
Stick a bork in him.
It's Bork.
Would you like to come with us when we go talk to the next?
No, Blake is.
No. Okay.
No, there's no choice. We have to get them together.
Why?
Because we're trying to trace the people who.
Oh, but getting them together will help that? Trace?
Yes.
Then sure, you can convince Blake to come along a bit.
But
Great.
can we bring the others to him? Baldo owes us.
Well,
And you are at a central location, Blake.
It's true.
Yeah.
And Bowie really needs to get off the streets anyway, so Bowie can come join Blake at the.
Oh, Bowie's deep in the streets.
Yeah.
These streets ahead.
People on the streets.
He had to. He's had to.
it's a requirement.
Terror of knowing what this bork is about. Barking some good friends screaming.
Bork me out! Tomorrow.
Borker. Is it Borker? What is it? Borker.
Dr. Borker.
Doesn't, I don't know.
All right.
Next bork.
So we bork off to the next bork.
You do. So you bork off the next
Bork
bork. You go and you're the next one that you're able to get in touch with is Betty,
Oh,
the biggest borking bork, who's pretty easy to find because she's like twice as
Yeah,
tall as
she's
the
17
bork.
inches tall.
Yeah.
We can see her from miles away.
Yeah, or the equivalent thereof. And Betty is actually pretty easy to get, relatively speaking, to get on Bork. Betty seems to
Eager
feel,
for redemption.
Yeah, and in fact, that she, in her telling of the story, seems to have been. She felt like she was able to. She describes a similar feeling to what Bowie was talking about in terms of kind of almost feeling like someone else was controlling her actions, which I mean, someone was, but she felt like she was able to exude a little bit of control or influence
Here and
there on whoever was doing that, and that was somewhat tempering her behavior. And she was the one who was also already seeing a borgotherapist, so she was kind of going down those rides that lane anyway. So you do have some conversation as well, and And you give some good tips to the therapist who is going to now also be seeing Blake and Bowie.
Yes.
15% is standard.
Yeah, you do get a consultant or a referral fee off of this.
For good tips.
I forgo the referral fee and I give it back to the Bork community to build back up their devastation.
Nice.
Just build up as much devastation as possible.
No, build. Shush.
I'm not the one who said it.
And so you are
Shush
able
me for
you
you
are
being
able to
dumb. That's
help
not
the
me.
that therapist, Dr. Borker.
What?
Something about Dr. Borker.
Yeah.
And who is also appreciates your input. And
so then, can we bring the doctor with us so that, like, when we have the doctor and all the Borks that have been...
no, I mean it seems to be the best thing to do right now is there is room at the Borkastery for all of them, and they don't have to stay there long term, but they're welcome to stay there as guests.
But the
And
doctor
so-
can come in and visit all of them?
Yeah, it seemed to be a good kind of holding a kind of a good place for them to kind of rest and reload and not reload. Dear God, not reload.
Whoa, these Borks are hardcore.
Yeah.
Let's bork some shit up.
Yeah.
Yeah, they definitely got borked up.
One of the first ones I wanted to create was Rambork.
And you didn't?
I didn't. No, I thought that would be too over the top.
Yes. You would lose all credibility. Couldn't say it.
Well, it's all about knowing when to say Bork. So, but you still have to find Blinky, the creepiest of the Borks,
Ooh, yes.
Probably watching us
who
right
has
now.
not been seen since the fire.
And we have no way of tracking his wearaborks.
Do any of the capybaras have like smelling sense and they could like track him like dogs?
What?
I mean, you could try to use one of the capybaras to. I mean, they do have the sense of smell.
I want the capybaras to like sniff out Blinky.
Let's ask some of the others if they have
Or
any
ideas.
item of clothing or describe Blinky to us.
Yeah, so you're able to, with the help of Betty, you were able to locate some of Blinky's possessions, and you can use that with the capybara.
Great.
To do a little bit of bloodhound work, borkhound work,
Borkhound.
borkhound work, and try to track down Blinky.
Great.
And yeah, so and fortunately this capybara is actually pretty quick at doing this, and is doing some beautiful capoeira.
At the same time? I thought they didn't double dip like that.
Every once in a while it busts a move just because
Because it can. Because it can. Show off little motherfuckers.
Yeah, that's what they do. So, capybaras, you just, they're borked. And so you use that forever borked.
I like to bork it.
I like to bork it.
That's a good one.
Bork, bork,
And the man in the back said, everyone is not going to turn it to a ballroom. Bork.
Both sides at the same time.
Getting borked.
Borking the line. Take your body in time.
Okay.
Don't worry. Be
More
borky.
happy.
That was such a
Don't
chorus
worry,
of fun
bork
just then.
happy.
It was really great.
Bork happy. Yeah, you're right.
God only knows who I'd bork without.
I was so creative. I liked that one.
God only knows. I mean,
I love that song.
I don't want to wait for Borks to be over.
I like big
Borks that I cannot lie. You other borks can't deny.
Yes, yes.
when a bork walks in,
time.
it'll
Anything
be
bork?
nothing in your bork, you get borked.
Pull up Bork, because you notice that Bork was borked.
Why do you know so much?
Oh, I know the entire song by heart.
I believe you. You don't have to prove it.
The jeans she's wearing.
Bork
No,
with
no,
the-
Yeah, I'm sorry.
no. You're actually to the point now where we're going to have to cut you off because of copyright problems.
But we haven't actually said any of it before. We were borking it up.
He also knows Bork of China, the Chinese Bork.
Oh, I like
we
that.
know
It's
he
true,
knows
yeah,
that song. Look at him. You can say, oh, blah. I bet he knows the words to almost every Bare Naked Lady song.
Bork thumper.
Yeah, I do know a lot.
Bork
of
number.
that.
I get borked out.
I bork up again.
Never gonna
You're
bork
never
me
going to
down.
bork me down.
Sir Bork's a lot. I like that.
Sir Bork's a lot.
Yeah, no, you do. Nice use of the capybara. You are able to, via the capybara, track down
Nice use of the cat.
Blinky, who was actually just kind of hanging out by a creek. Deceptively, not deceptively, actually not very creepy. and just kind of taciturn and
Can we determine
Yeah,
why he's considered creepy?
He's considered creepy because he's not always happy.
I like this guy.
And in the course of conversation with Blinky, especially after seeing Betty and Blake and Bowie together, is actually willing to come on board, and it takes some conversation, some cajoling. But
since his sorcery basically murdered his entire tribe of people, he eventually agrees.
And we were slow and gentle.
Yeah. What?
We were nice.
Slow
them.
and
Yes,
gentle.
you were.
So they opened up,
Yes, they did.
came to us.
They did indeed.
Word usage.
Slow and gentle.
So you get
knew as
these
soon as I said
borks, you get the four of them together, and you have a lot of conversation with them. You get the story, like you really do put the pieces together of what seems to have happened, and using it in language that you know. It's very apparent that 4 metapilots arrived, took control of these 4 borks, and just pillaged everything, just lay waste to everything they came across.
So do they tell us the whole story from their point of view?
Yes.
Like eventually?
Yeah.
Did they say Bork off?
Do they mean so they would have a certain memory perhaps then of the man encouraging them along?
Oh, of a certain...
The Bork-sized human that encouraged them along with the flower shirt.
Yes, every once in a while there was a Bork-sized human in a flower shirt who was giving advice to these metapilots.
It's the equivalent of Thomas. Then.
Thomas, did you do that?
Oh, Bork, no.
Could they tell us what? Could they feel thoughts or feelings or anything from?
And they would have been, I'm sorry, I'm just thinking now out loud as a GM and having a very on-camera conversation because it's the easiest, most efficient way to do it. They would actually have a loose sense of what that human was saying at times.
Oh yeah, points and all sorts of crazy shit.
Yeah, I mean, the name Tom came up.
That is your name, Thomas.
No, my name is actually Thomas.
Yeah, but you can see why they're close.
They are close, however, they are not the same word.
It was part of the same. Word.
For example, your name is Jenica, not Jen.
No.
Oh, that's totally true.
Yeah, nobody calls me Jen.
No one refers to Crash as Jack, though Jackson is sometimes abbreviated that way. Nick does not go by Nicholas, though that could be another form of his name.
All right. I just want to make sure that you don't. There's not like a side of you that you don't know about that's like creeping around.
I do not wear Hawaiian shirts.
Okay.
I do.
You do?
No, but that would be awesome. I've always wanted one.
However, on that topic, I will confess I am more than mildly concerned about this report and will be investigating.
Thank you. We should definitely look into that. That's not normal, right?
Correct.
Ha! I borked that one.
Thomas, could you head back to base and check on my body, just make sure the temperature's the same?
I checked before I came. You're nice and crispy. Or excuse me, that's not the
He
word.
needs an alone
Crispy.
moment. Is that what you need?
Chill.
Yes.
I apologize.
Oh, he wants
Chill.
an alone moment without you because he wants to talk about you for a second.
Oh, no problem. I will leave in a moment.
Great.
But for what it is worth, Nick, I did check before I arrived, and your body was, I won't say in good shape because you did see it. However, it was as functionally in good shape as had been when you began.
Nice and
appreciate
crisp.
Did I read that wrong?
Leave now.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Thomas.
Okay, is he gone?
Yeah?
Yeah, he's gone.
We have to entertain the possibility that, well, either Thomas's body is not dead, and they fished it out and booted it back up.
Why would it be 13 inches tall?
It's a projection to them.
Okay.
The other option is because Thomas is a program right now, he can be copied and infiltrated and duplicated.
That seems most likely.
And it makes a lot of sense if our competitors, rather than programming up their own, would just copy one of ours and then change a few
Well, I mean, our Thomas wouldn't tell us to murder people.
No, he wouldn't. There are safeties and protocols he has in place.
Thomas is afraid of killing people too.
Yes, but if you were to remove those, use all of Thomas's knowledge
Just
without the
copy.
moral restraints.
You'd have Google.
Nice social commentary, Crash. It's very good.
I don't like.
I did social commentary.
It's good.
Sorry.
Google.
Sorry, Crash. I'm experiencing a lot of anxiety about these other pilots just running rampant and killing things.
Just like we used to do before we knew better.
We only killed bad guys.
Did Jebediah wear Hawaiian shirts?
Sometimes.
Yeah, they did sometimes.
Calls himself Tom. Did they give us a physical description of Tom?
He's a Huey with a flower shirt.
Yeah, to them, that's pretty much what was.
Was
the
there
most
hair on his
distinguishing
face?
I think so. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What color was the hair?
Brown.
Brownish dark.
Okay. Dark brown? No, it wasn't. Okay.
Dark brown.
Does that
Glasses.
match? Does that match Thomas?
Glasses.
It doesn't. It doesn't match Jebediah.
Does it match Thomas?
There's enough There's enough differences that you're like.
But the problem is a Bork is going to be like, white guy, brown hair.
Yeah. I mean, it's
Glasses.
to a Bork, the three of us look the same.
Exactly the same.
Okay.
Bork.
Okay.
They only see in shades of love.
That was
I am
beautiful.
not trying to kill this.
That was
post
beautiful.
They do.
I love that sentence.
That's how I see things too.
I made them super cute. So
Like
when they
that.
murdered them, it would be horrible. And it
was.
was.
It ruined everything. They're all displaced.
Do you remember that world we went to where there were gothic monsters everywhere and we were so depressed we thought we'd never leave and how awful that was? This is the opposite of that, okay? Knock off the happy shit. You can't dwell on that constantly. Yes, they only see in shades of love, and we are here to protect them so that they don't get used as a training ground by our evil counterparts.
Again.
Okay? Again. Thank you. They've already done it.
Maybe they're not evil counterparts. Jeb isn't evil, right?
He tried to kill us.
Once.
Isn't that enough?
Yeah.
Unless there's some psychotic break that he's having and he's not under his own impulses, evil
Or someone's controlling him.
or that.
Jeb
If-
himself is a host.
He could be.
The only way he's not evil is if he is a host of somebody else or
I'm just
psychosis.
saying we don't even know what he's up to.
Yes, but most likely,
He said something to us that made it seem like he might be
If
not in control.
we could find out where one of these other pilots is, I might be able to jack into him
Of course.
long enough to find out where Jeb is.
That's why we need to find them.
Okay. Well, they're not here.
If we can't find them, maybe we lure them out.
I'm saying we get these Borks together and we can maybe track them back to where they are, and then we can get one of them and you can jump inside them and you can be you can be like a spy. You could Jason Bourne them
Who's Jason?
for the program.
Who is Jason Bourne?
Matt Damon,
Matt Damon.
only the greatest actor of our time.
Wow.
I missed a lot of movies.
I
when
just
was-
learned a lot about you.
I didn't. Okay.
Okay.
Next to
we
Keanu
all-
Reeves, though, he is, right?
Oh. Sure,
There's just
Crash.
such different genres, but anyway. But I like that. I like thinking.
You sent Thomas
It's
away.
pronounced
how do we
Jenners.
call him back?
I don't
Or do
know.
Hey,
Thomas!
I do apologize.
Okay,
I
Thomas.
got the sense that I was being summoned back, but I didn't want to invade your space.
I appreciate that. Question for you. Do we know what kind... Is the program's Metapod technology equivalent to ours?
It's hard to determine at this point. We know from what our informants have told us that they have made significant progress since we were last working with them.
Jeb gave them the technology he was hiding from them.
I see.
They've all got his black boxes now.
All right.
Not that that's what they are, but that's what he calls them. They're not really boxes; they're chips.
I'm saying if we lure them out, if we put all the knights and borked them back together, try to lure the other avatars back. I could try to hack into one, but I could try to do it so they don't know that it's happened. If I hack into one and then I get kicked out or disconnected or whatever, then they know what happens. If I can do it fast enough, maybe I can upload a little bit of
Well,
malware.
all we really have to do is find enough of the avatars that they've inhabited in different metaverses.
Oh, that's true.
It's probably the same thing they're doing to us.
So all the Borks are together, right? We're all here together. They came.
Chris.
The,
Sorry, I
the
think there's something
knights. They're here, right?
Yes,
We're all
you
together.
have them, yeah.
We're all here.
Yes, they have had some therapy.
Well,
They're
do
feeling
some
better.
computery stuff on them or something. This is not me.
First, I gotta find them.
They're all together now, right?
They're here with us.
Isn't that what Chris just said?
Yeah, all
Yes.
the Borks are together. They've all had some therapy. They're feeling less
Soothing them.
terrible. I mean,
petting them. Do
they've
they like
still
to be,
seen that,
They
but
like to be pet. Do they like that?
I think so.
Every Bork likes to get petted.
Do they make a special noise?
Yeah,
purr.
I'm sure it's adorable.
They probably sing too.
Yeah.
What do you,
I rub them extra.
wait, what are you trying to do with them right now?
We're just making them feel better.
Gotcha.
They're purring.
But we have to take them back to that day.
You want me to hypnose them?
If only there was some way to turn back time. If
If I
only,
could turn back time.
if only there was anyone who had the kind of power.
I bet
Do
you could
something
use your
like
buff to B points.
But, you know, it doesn't happen, so it's...
Can I use my points?
Is that what we're trying to do? Is turn back time?
Where'd you get that idea?
If I could
You just said that.
find a way, take back those words that hurt you, and we'll
Is that what you
say,
need us to do, Chris?
if I could reach the stars,
It's not me, it's what the verse needs.
I give them all to you.
It's what the,
Are we doing a song?
the reality that you are in needs something.
Uh-huh.
You hinted at that earlier. You were trying to determine what would be necessary to, for lack of a better term, jack out of this reality.
Oh, like to solve the mission and be complete with it?
In the past, it has appeared that when you have returned back to the metapods, it's been less about being called back and frequently more about solving or finishing something that you were there for.
Right. So we've gotten all the Borks together, and now we want to try and figure out where they came from because we were led to believe that if we had them all together, that would be easier to find out.
Thomas is not convinced. I'm not convinced. I'll be Thomas right now. I do believe it will require far more than a single avatar for a pilot in order to locate their current position.
But we have 4.
You have 4, but they're not the same pilot.
He's saying we need, for one pilot, we need multiple avatars of that same pilot to be
Well,
able
how
to
do we get
pinpoint
that
it.
if all of the avatars are in different worlds? We can't move avatars from metaverse to metaverse.
It wouldn't be a matter of extrapolating from all of them at once. We can take the information that we've learned here and now and carry it with us for when we go to another space.
Okay.
So in order to get out of this metaverse, we have to complete the mission of this metaverse so we can go to the next metaverse and get to their avatars there and then start compiling.
But we solved the mystery. We know they did it.
Right, but we have to heal them. They're broken still.
Should also probably send undead stabby face to his fiance.
It is a long shot, but based on some things that you absorbed, Crash, it does occur to me that this is a world of unending happiness until it was ended by the infiltration of these other metapilots.
Uh-huh.
If there is some way to restore that level of, as
Happiness.
Nick would say, mind-numbing joy, it is apparent that that may be a solution.
I've already tried killing myself twice. It doesn't work.
Oh, what if we go back in time and help?
How would you do that?
How would I do that? Do
You
I
could
have
time-
that power somehow? Just magic?
It's on your character.
I don't have your character sheet.
bottom.
What does your character sheet
Only if
say?
I have 3 meta points. Can
Or
I?
you can burn a buff to do it.
Oh, I burn my buff.
So
I'm
is there
gonna
anything
burn my
else?
buff.
That seems like a pretty powerful thing you want to do, because usually when you do a little time shift, it just kicks back time a little bit.
Right, and I need more juice in this case.
Yeah, so what would be something you could use? What are assets, connections, resources that we have?
Cool rule.
You have a rule of cool. Oh, you do have that as well. Those could be useful in some form. The same time, like your ability to tweak reality when you turn back time is strong, but it seems like you might need one extra little bit of kick just to make that happen.
A kick?
Yeah, just a little bit of kick. I don't know if you had anyone who's ever been a part of your party who any time had some sort of tendency to bend reality to her will.
Her will, my will.
No.
Rosie.
Someone who is taking a little time out.
Well, yeah, Rosie would definitely help with that.
So we need Rosie?
Destiny. The powers of Rosie.
How do we get those?
Thomas is right there. He says, would you like me to go get her?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. She's willing, especially. Nothing against her will.
Okay.
Just tell her it's
She
about
really
cute
wouldn't like
little
that.
bunny-like creatures.
She'd want to help.
So Thomas
For sure.
disappears for a moment,
I hate that guy.
comes back. I can't even react. I didn't hear that. and says, it is my understanding from speaking with Ms. Harvin that she is actually willing to come and join you.
Awesome. We'd love to have her.
Cool.
But we just left her an hour ago.
Oh, it's been.
But
a
now
lot
she knows we
longer.
need help.
It depends on which version of reality we're looking at.
Right. I'm so confused right now.
I know you and me both, and I'm supposedly in charge.
Let's get her in.
So, Rosie, having taken a little bit of time out at the diner, did actually leave. Just to give you some backstory that you're never going to find out unless I just tell you this right now.
Yeah.
So Rosie left the diner. She only stayed there for a little bit. She was directed by Thomas to the apartment soon after you guys left, and has just been kind of hanging out there after you jacked in and went away. So Thomas goes back to the apartment and talks to her about your theory, and so she agrees to jack in temporarily. She doesn't know where she's going to go, but to see if she has an avatar to connect to in this reality that can be fortuitous.
I have a haiku if you need one.
That would be great. She jacks in, and it turns out that she gets connected to, what do I want to say, a baby bork, who Columbork had been working with
Right.
for.
The baby.
So as you're at the Borkastery, Columbork and Baby Bork show up. And you can tell as soon as you see Baby Bork that you see a little bit of Rosie behind those eyes, because, you know, the whole magic MacGuffin of how all this works. And she's
And she does her thing.
and you kind of fill her in on what you're basically trying to do, which she says sounds, you know, Bork shit crazy. But she's willing to give it a shot. And what is the haiku that she does?
Yeah.
Turn back time until the Borks are happy again. Bork joy forever.
Super specific.
I like that. And somehow,
And Maggie would too if she were here.
through the combined magical MacGuffin that is Hex Destiny and her amazing abilities to shift reality, coupled with the residual bits of Riki that allow you to shift time, and not space, because that was someone else, but time. As you were standing there, several of the Borks start to shimmer and move backwards as if you were rewinding a tape. And looking outside from the Borkastery off into the distance, you see a giant fire in the forest off in the side, and then it goes out. And first you see the storm clouds appear overhead, and the storm drops rain over the forest, and then that causes a fire that builds up, flaming its way through all of the forest, and then that fire dies back down, and then you're not quite sure exactly what's going on. But as you look around the monastery, you see that all of the knights who you had met before are gone. And the only Borks who are left seem to be the Borks who live there.
Can we go tell the Humi not to go through the Bork village?
In your current form?
Yeah.
No,
Why?
they don't speak Bork.
Oh. Could we write him a sign?
You can write them a sign.
Okay, let's write him a sign and then hang it on the trees.
The cutest sign that has a dead human on it.
Later that
so
next
cute.
day, that random human walking through the forest comes across a sign scratched out on wood in very caricature language that says, you know,
Don't Borken go in.
don't Borking go in here, you will die, Hume. Go that way.
Yeah. Yes.
Free gold.
Free gold. Yeah. And no sooner have you done this that you can feel this sense that you are being pulled back through time and space and dropped back into your metapods.
Thank God I'm dead again.
Back into the apartment, free of the borks.
And our magic and time just affected this metaverse. Is that correct? Or did it affect? We don't know.
We don't know. Maybe we went back and Sentinel City's back the way it was.
Good joy,
No, Sentinel
Aquamarine.
City is not under a friggin' dome. She didn't have anything to do with that in her haiku.
Don't worry.
Haiku was all about the
nothing.
happiness of the Borkland.
Bork joy forever.
Bork
joy
focused only.
forever.
Bork focused only. Nothing else.
Good job, guys.
My voice is gonna hurt tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
At least you have to teach. Oh, wait.
Just
No,
teach in the
seriously, good
voice.
job. Like, I know it was a ridiculous premise. I know it drove you each crazy at least once. No, it drove you two crazy at least once or twice.
I was happy.
But I'm happy with that. I am happy with what we got out in terms of the overall story and plot. I like the idea that the Borks are happy again.
Borks are happy. We fixed
And,
it.
you know,
We can unfix it again real fast.
it's true. It's true.
Poor Bork.
We can't have happy Borks.
Guess we have to have happy
Shiny,
Borks. Bork
happy
joy
Borks.
forever.
Borking Borks.
Working Borks.
Well, thank you everyone for hanging around for Masters of the Metaverse.
Thank you, chat. We love you.
Monday we will be here again. I have no friggin' clue what's going to happen, but we have at least 2 more weeks before we hop back over to Project Metaverse, where they will destroy something else that's happening here.
And we'll have the,
We've only done that one time.
That's true.
the Pachimo waffle.
Do you have it?
That will be next week.
That will be next week
When
as
I
well.
bring my
Back to the
guitar?
waffle. Yes. So thank you all so much for your support as always, and have a great night. We'll see you next week. Take care.